Oh, it's exciting. We are back with another episode of Rave Story TV, and I have got someone who is in the front seat of drum and bass in the modern world, who has seen it in the 90s, the noughties, the 10s, and this brand new era of where drum and bass, rave culture is at. Too Shy MC, how are you, sir?
I'm all good. Thanks for having me on, bruv.
We're excited, didn't we?
Yeah, we are. I'm trying to hold it down.
Well, you're trying to hold your excitement down.
I'm trying to hold my excitement down, mate. I'm pick that up and start dancing about. You know?
Yeah, we'll have a little rave up. So your story absolutely fascinates me, from like all the eras of you going into through jungle drum and bass and where you're at now. But I want to go right back, before the rave scene, before jungle, before drum and bass. Your life start in the journey of music and life.
During the war.
Back in my day.
Nah, so I'm South London, born and bred. Born in Peckham, moved to Brixton. Brixton to Brockley. Brockley to Peckham. And then that was basically the start of everything.
There's some areas, isn't they? They've got some pulses and heartbeats.
They were back then.
What year was you born?
76.
Ah, yeah, younger than me. So 76, 1976. What are your first sort of memories of music?
Music, do you know what? I was never really into it. It's quite funny. Now, like, if I'm in the car driving to and from gigs, pure 80s. Just have 80s on. But as a kid growing up, I was never into it. I was always being told off for turning off the radio or whatever. My mum would always have, I don't know, Radio 1, whatever on, you know, like, big Annie Lennox fan. Both my parents are Scottish and that, so yeah. Annie Lennox and all that sort of, a bit of Rod Stewart and all that kind of stuff. I was never really in it until we moved to Peckham, and then I was raised on a council estate. So now you've got multicultural going on. It's not just what's in your house, it's what's outside your door, what's going on in the estate, people blasting out music 24/7. My earliest music would have been the 80s, this getting told off, turning off the radio and stuff. And then it would have been reggae.
Reggae music.
Reggae music.
What year would you say?
I moved to Peckham when I was about 7 or 8. That's when I really started to actually take in what was going on musically. Other than that, it was just noise in the background while I was trying to play Sabutio or something. So it would have been that. Blasting out of other people's house. And obviously where I've moved, you're making new friends. Yes. So you're going into their house and there's reggae playing. Like loads of my friends growing up, their parents and mum's partners and that had sound systems and stuff. So you're straight away,
absorbing
it's like, what is all of this that's going on? Just stuff that wasn't really going on in my household. Yeah. So I'd say that was my earliest, 8 years old. And by 10, fully immersed in reggae music.
Wow, so the sound system tapes.
Yeah, I had loads of Jamaican friends that would go back and forth on the estate, and they'd come back with VHS videos of Sting 85, Sting 86. So we were just watching that, and then obviously I'm learning patois and stuff as well around the manor, and you know, it's just everyday talk sort of thing. So I was immersed in this. You've got the Cockneys, you've got, you know, the old school English from Peckham that been there since before the war. Then you've got like the integration of there was Bengali families, there was Jamaican families, African families. So it's just it's a whole different world. Yeah. It was great. It was a brilliant learning
What an
curve.
influence, eh? Can you remember certain reggae tracks? What reggae tracks really blew you away? Like your first memories?
There was I remember hearing Daddy U-Roy, all things I'm going
I love
way
U-Roy.
back.
I love
Yeah, there was U-Roy. The one that really grabbed me, I remember watching a Sting video. I think it was Sting 86. And it was Lieutenant Stitchy. Peter Metro stole the show.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Now obviously you've got your Ninja Man, your Tigers, all of that kind of thing. Sanchez, Pinches.
What a performer, Tiger. How unique was Tiger?
Yeah, drugs are a powerful thing, man.
Yeah, unbelievable performer. Yeah, when I first started seeing all that stuff, it just, because I was banging into my hip hop and used to listen to Mike Allen and Dave Pearce. But once I started getting a taste of reggae, just the way the performers
showmanship.
Oh, mate,
the outfits.
unreal.
You're sitting there wearing I don't know, an Adidas tracksuit in your flat in Peckham, and it's like this guy's running about dressed up as a ninja, waving a sword. You were just like, this is unreal. Like, what is this?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah, you're not going to see that in Peckham Rye Park. Do you know what I mean? There's no sound system just turning up in Peckham Rye Park and someone's dancing about dressed up as a ninja, waving nunchuckers, and it was just captivating. It was incredible. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
To like be growing up and being immersed in a different culture and different music, and because now there's formulas now, aren't there? And this is what we do to make a hit. But back then everything was different. And then obviously through that you start learning about the clashing, Red Dragon v Ninja Man and and it takes it to another level, doesn't it? So it was, there was that. I was also into like early hip hop, Cookie Crew.
Love Cookie Crew. I'm sure Cookie Crew was South London.
Yeah, they were.
Cookie Crew was South
Moni
London.
Love, she used to go out with someone that I knew as well. Overlord X from Hackney.
Hackney, 14 Days in May and Rough in Hackney, unbelievable.
Rough in Hackney, yeah. Derek B, like all of that sort of stuff as well. And then it progressed into like hip house. Daddy Freddy, Rebel MC, all that kind of era as well. So I was into that. And then obviously the rave thing was going on. And I obviously too young to miss the beginning of that, but like just flicking, once you get stereo and you're flicking through, it was everywhere, wasn't it? So it was just a fusion of music. But by 93, I was gone. Jungle, I was gone. I weren't even listening to reggae.
So I got one for you, right? A lot of people who come up here, whether they're from North or East London, talk about like Hype being 12 years old, doing his sound system, Paulie Beefer, North London, like doing bluesies at like 10, 12 years of age. So you being like 10, 11 in the in 85, 86, 87, when did you first started like experiencing going and hearing reggae or hip hop out
It would have been house parties, because as I say, most of the people I grew up with, like, so my best mates at the time, there was Wayne and Iona and that. Their parents, one of them was involved in Lord Gelly sound system. So if there was a party, it'd probably be Lord Gelly playing at the house party, which would still have 150, 200 people in it, all down the balcony of the flats and everything. There was that. There was another couple I grew up with, and Lena's partner was part of Virgo sound system. So that they were safe environments for me to go to, because I've grown up around these people. So I could be 12, 13, standing in a party in the corner. I wasn't whining or anything.
No, watching everything.
Just watching everything, having a cheeky little sip of rum, being told don't back it, and just boshing it straight away, and then just standing there, head nodding like for the whole. But I'd never heard bass or anything like that before. And I was quite good at school. As bad as I was really good at like English and creating stories and stuff. Yeah. So the reggae with that bass line, which, had gripped me anyway, the subs, and then hearing vocals, I was like, this is brilliant for me. Yeah. Like, this is perfect. This has kind of gripped me. Whereas, as I say, the 80s thing, the whole synth thing and that, as much as I love it now, at the time I was like, this is shit.
More mesmerised by the lyrics.
I was more into football, but then once reggae and it was the with lyrics, I was like, okay. And then you learn about flows and all that stuff. And then obviously we're all just practicing on the stairs.
I go back still to this day, like whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm on the road, and like you just doing the slang thing, I'm just still to this day, I'm mesmerised by like the mid 80s, like dance where you got Cutty Ranks, Buju Bant and Buru Bant and every Nicodemus and
Supercat, Junior Cat, like, all of them,
all of them, and like then the wave of Ninja Man and people, and it is like it is mesmerising, like you now. I'll listen to Heart 80s when I'm on the road and love it, but as a youngster, there was just something so like captivating and radical and
just different. It's hard to explain. It was such a different culture, and it's kind of in your lap. It was incredible. Like, and then obviously because I was amongst it 24/7, you start learning patois and blah blah blah. I wasn't going around talking it, but I could fully understand it. I was in their houses all the time, being introduced to different food. Jamaican cultures, you turn up, it's like there's a plate of food and you will eat it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So things like carrot juice, now I'd never had that in my life. and you turn up and you're given a carrot juice and you have a sip, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Mate's going, drink it. You have to drink it. Like, you have to, because you're really going to offend my mum and my nan. Like, so it's like, oh, but you know, so you're learning different food culture. I didn't know what jerk chicken was until I went to my mate's house. And
you mentioned school. Was you good at school, or you said you was good with English and that?
I was good with English. I was brilliant at art. I was an arsehole in school. But later on in life, we're trying to figure out, like, I've got really short attention span, blind as a bat, wouldn't wear my glasses.
It's like we're the same people, mate.
Yeah, but I would get sent to the back of the class, which is now like, well, that's normal me out because I can't see the blackboard at all. I know where it all went wrong. When I was in primary school, I had a teacher that everyone was absolutely petrified of. Pakistani teacher, and I'm talking grabbing you by the nose, the ears, like, you know, back then. And our classroom was the attic, and no one wanted that classroom because it was scary. Apparently it was haunted, all this kind of, so there's loads of little elements where you're like, I'm not enjoying this, don't want to go to school. Petrified of the teacher who was a maths teacher. I just didn't really get the maths thing, was scared to ask for help. So you just sort of start stepping out, didn't you? You're like, do you know what, this isn't really me, this, like, kind of get left behind a bit. But once I went to secondary school, first year I was all right, I was bubbling along. But once I'd made my own friends that I hadn't come from my primary school to secondary school, I went off in a whole different direction.
Mate, it's like identical to me. Come the second year, what would we have been at the second year at seniors? How old are you then? 12? Are we 12 or 13?
11 you go to school, so 12 second year.
Mate, come the second year at school, that was me. We'd bunk off school.
Yeah.
We'd go up to Groove Records, Soho, Music Power, Haringey. Some of our mates would hang off the back of the trains, painting their tags on the trains, graphing. And by the third and fourth year, that was it. They'd thrown me out.
Yeah,
all I wanted was
I spent 2 years
music.
sitting in the hall with a Walkman on, listening to music and practicing my graffiti.
Yeah.
Just 2 years. And then I was like, there's no point coming in, this is shit. And it got to the point where my mum would actually wake me up and be like, are you going in? And I'd be like, no. No, but what, to sit in a hall for 4 hours? Like, I've got other stuff I'd rather do. You know, which there wasn't.
So you was being creative with your graffiti and your art?
Yeah, I was good at art, and I was constantly getting suspended, but I was good at football.
Right.
So I got away with murders.
Yeah.
Because the deputy head was the manager of my football team. So there are little bits you get away with. It's like, oh no, we've got a cup game coming up. Like, can't suspend him. Like, just, you know, give him a few days in the hall or whatever. So there was stuff I got away with. But then, once I got into rave culture and that, I started to dip out of football a little bit. And then a couple of typical story, injury and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I can't be bothered with this. Like, everyone else is gallivanting about, having fun. And
so when you say reggae, hip-hop, hip house,
I love that.
Going through your radio and hearing like all this other music, like the house, the acid, the hip house, away from the reggae and the hip hop. What kind? Can you remember DJs and that you were listening to on the Pirates when you was discovering?
Obviously, I knew of Centre Force, Fantasia. There was a station in southeast London. I don't know how big it got out, but it was called Force FM, and it was on 90.
Right.
Force FM 90. I think they used to call it 9 grand or 9 gram or something. But loads of people that we knew, that we grew up with, played on there. So all your G Money's, G Wiz, Tiny, all these. I think Rough Stuff was on there as well.
Right.
There was. So these were like little, not heroes, but it was like, oh shit, G Money's on the radio. Do you know what I mean? So you would listen to that because you knew them.
Yeah.
But there were loads of people from Peckham, Brockley, all on it. So you would just listen into them basically. But obviously your Cool FMs, like the early Cool FM when it was Brocky and Ash and Tonic and Times 2, all those kind of MCs. I used to listen to Westwood a lot as well for the hip hop thing.
Do you know what? Like Westwood before Capital Radio on LWR, and then before, like I said it on a few times on the podcast, before he became a caricature, he was actually someone everyone who was into hip hop,
he was repping,
would listen to between like the mid to latter 80s. He was
good at what he done.
Deal. Yeah.
And then it all just went a bit funny, didn't it?
Yeah, you say about hip house here, like listening to Rebel MC, Daddy Freddy, obviously two characters who, like, Daddy Freddie made some wicked ragga hip hop.
Yeah, mate.
With Music Alive, done some hip house with Simon Harris on
Yep.
Music Alive. Rebel MC. Though we don't, most of our listeners knows that's Congo Natty.
Yeah.
But when they were doing like their hip house thing, they were adding little ska elements and little like reggae elements.
I think that's what gripped me. It was like,
Yeah.
you know, all of a sudden you got this electronic music, and then it's like the reggae ragga influence. Do you know what I mean? And then from that, it was like Ragga Twins.
Yeah.
Shut Up and Dance, and then you start moving into this whole different, you know, with the Shut Up and Dance, you're like, oh, okay, this is rave music.
Yeah.
But also with the radio thing, my cousin lived in Croydon, and I'm Peckham, and he was always, when I was playing with Eksman and Action Force figures and stuff, he had chemistry kits and science bits that, you know, you're like, what a boffin. Like, what is wrong with him?
What a word.
Yeah. But, you know, exactly.
What an old school word. You boffin.
But before, I mean, he's passed now, but before he was 40, he was a millionaire. Yeah, like self-made millionaire, had his own electrics company and that. But he was making transmitters and selling them. And I don't know how deep he was in with Energy FM, but I know it was in his back garden at one point, in his shed, which is obviously where Bailey and people like that started their careers.
Wow.
He had that, and then later on he went on to be something, how deep, I don't know, with Dream FM. I think he might have been one of the money men.
Right.
And he was the one putting on the raves at Adrenaline Village, Dream FM dances and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's always radio, raves. When did you first start writing lyrics? Because I've got a few questions in my head. One, like you being around it all so much from where you are. Two, the writing the lyrics. And three, going to your first rave. So what come first?
I wasn't necessarily writing. I could, because I could just, you know, all the reggae that I knew, you would just take their lyrics. I didn't even have a name or anything. Actually, like, it's quite funny because even the name Too Shy, we'll get onto that in a bit. But like, when I was at school, I didn't go to school in Peckham. My mum was like, there's no way on earth you're going to school in Peckham. Like, because I was quite popular around the area anyway. So it was like, I can't send you to Peckham. You won't learn a thing. So she sent me to Forest Hill. But Forest Hill was an absolute melting pot of everywhere. So you had, like, obviously in the 80s and stuff, there was a lot of gangs around that part of South London. So I knew all the Peckham lot, I knew all the ghetto boys, I knew, like, the Lewisham lot, knew the Brixton lot, and a load of them were going to my school. So it's like, I'd have stayed out of more trouble had she sent me to Peckham, because you would know your placement in society, so to speak. Whereas when she sent me to Forest Hill, it was like, mate, this is just a melting pot of everyone from loads of different manners. So all of a sudden I know loads of gang members and blah, blah, blah. Point being, most of them didn't know, first of all, that I listened to hardcore music because it was a bit devil music back then amongst the reggae community. So I would hold it down that I could even spit, you know, Ninja Man lyrics or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, I listen to it. And they'd be like, you know, there'd be circles and people would be like, can you spit? It was like, no. You know what I mean? Just being that white guy amongst
being
like...
shy.
Yeah. Being shy. So no one really knew. So I didn't take it that serious. It was probably about 91 that I started writing my own bits and pieces. And then there was little house parties popping up here, there and everywhere. And then I got enticed to get on the mic, bullied, essentially, to get on the mic. There was a couple of my cousins and that knew what I could do. And we were at a house party, and it was in Lewisham. And one of my cousins went, just get on the mic. Like, these MCs are shit, just get on the mic. So I reluctantly got on it, hid behind the speaker, blah, blah, blah. Did what I did. Was mainly spitting other little catchy reggae hooks here and there and everything, but, you know, doing my own crap lyrics. You can imagine 1991 crap. And I came out, went downstairs for a zoot or whatever to chill, because I got a good response when I was on, and some bird come down and went, they're calling you back upstairs. And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, how can they fucking call me? I haven't even got a name. Like, and they were calling Too Shy MC because they knew I was reluctant to get on the mic. They were like, that guy that was too shy to get on, get him up here.
And that's how you got the name.
That's why I'm not MC Too Shy, it's Too Shy MC, because that's what they were calling out. Where's that Too Shy MC gone?
Where's that Too Shy MC?
And then I went back upstairs and got on the mic. So that was my first, like, oh, they actually like what I'm doing.
So that's
sort of thing.
1991. You're
That was
saying,
91, 92, and then
early rave stuff.
yeah, which you couldn't really. It wasn't spitting
before
bars
jungle,
or nothing like that. I mean, it was just going into breakbeat then. Really, wasn't it? Coming out the 4/4 stuff. So, that was probably the first time where silly little 2 bar. It was like 2 bars. It wasn't like 8s and 16s. Where I was like, oh, right, cool. Like they're quite into it. So I got a little bit of confidence, but was still very, very shy. And then where I was crap at school, I started working with my mum's partner at the time, who had a removals company. And with my first wage pack, I went out and bought a karaoke machine. I was putting the rave tapes in it, the mixtapes, and and that was it. Just writing. I was on a karaoke machine that had a little delay on it and everything. I thought it was the nuts.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah, so that was kind of it.
So us DJs went out and I had a job on a market store, and I'd go and spend all my money on records.
Yeah.
You got your karaoke.
Yeah.
Writing your lyrics, little echo.
Little karaoke machine from Argos.
Effects.
It's about 100 quid. Yeah, and I thought, well, that's perfect, because I used to collect rave tapes anyway. Like, I had all the packs. Every weekend I'd get my wages, straight up Unity, Black Market, bang, 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 Wax Records, Wax City or whatever. That was just...
What were your favourite tapes? Like your favourite...
Do you know what? My all-time favourite tape, and I actually had a punch up with one of my good mates because it went missing and I knew who had it.
You're holding on to that. I know you've still got it.
I got it back, but it was Jungle Fever,
right.
The first ever one, which I went to, Curtain Road, and it was Red Ant and Fearless. That was the game changer for me. Yeah. Fearless, MC-wise, for me, changed everything in '93.
Red Ant the other week, I was at a Centerville's gig, and like I was playing, I've come off the stage and there was Red Ant by the stage. I was like, he goes up to Danny Lyons from time to time.
Yeah, he was the nuts, wasn't he?
Yeah, the man, the absolute.
And him and Remark obviously were the brain killers, weren't they?
Come on, Remark, all time. Mark, you're coming on this podcast. He's like, no, I don't want to go and talk. Remark and
mate, there's stories that I've got to do. I say it to Moose all the time as well. You've got to do some more interviews than that, man. Moose is always like, it's like, bruv, you're like foundation.
Yeah, the dons.
Like, people need to know these stories.
Yeah. Can you remember your first ever rave? Like, so you're doing house party, like not to perform, but actually going to a rave.
I went to
wow.
I don't know what it was illegal. It was in Brockley, because I remember being somewhere and my mate's mum was there as well, and it was quite, I don't know, say like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and we walked back together from a mutual friend's house. And on the way back, about 2 minutes from my house, we bumped into 2 of my mates, Spencer and that. And they were like, we're going to this rave. Do you want to come? I'd never been to it. So I was like, nah. And it was my mate's mum that went, just go, innit? So I was like, I'll go on then. And I just remember turning up at this derelict. I don't know what it was. It wasn't like necessarily a warehouse. It was an industrial unit of some sort. And it was in Brockley. I just remember walking in and going, what the fuck is this? Like, because obviously going to reggae house parties and then all of a sudden turning up at a legal rave, this was probably like 90, 91, 92. So I'd have been quite young.
Yeah, you'd have been young, yeah.
Yeah, but all of us were. We all used to knock about with older lot. That's how we were all graphing up at the age of like 11 and stuff. We were going all over the place graphing up and that with these.
What was your tag?
Mine was Deuce. DEUCE, so it's like equals.
Very old school, Deuce.
Yeah, so I used to tag that, but I used to knock about with some people that were quite well known in graffiti lands, like Regret and all them kind of boys. They were all around the corner from me, basically. So yeah, like I went to this warehouse rave, and it was just like, what the fuck is this? Didn't really take it all in properly, and where it was only with them, and they were into it. They were boshing things and everything. I was just like, what the, I hadn't seen lasers before. Yeah. So all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck is all of this? And they're boshing and they're off on one. And I probably stayed for a few hours and then came back. And then I just remember saying to one of my cousins, like, mate, like, yeah, game changer, absolute game changer. And then after that,
did you get the little fellas?
No, not that night. Eventually I did. I was probably, but even when I was into the little fellas, I would do quarters.
Right.
I had cousins, mates that would bosh 3, 4, 5 of them, sit on the floor all night, all spangled up. And 2 days later, you'd hear from them. Yeah, 2 days later, you'd hear from them, and they're like, "That was wicked." It was like, mate, you sat on broken glass, covered in beer all
in your
night.
own sick, loving life.
I'd just take a little quarter, and I'd be like, I just want to hear it and dance and just keep me going, basically. So I never indulged
heavily
like you.
Lovely.
I'd just have a little bit as a livener.
Yeah.
Like, a bit of a bottle job. There was no way I nosed up on one in 1996, and then that was it.
No more.
No, Desire, Club UN.
Right.
Someone gave me $1 and said, whatever you do, don't take all of it. And I went to take a little nibble, and there was a security guard in there. We used to call him Zangief. He had a big, like, Mohican. He looked like Zangief out of Street Fighter. And he come up and hit me on the shoulder just as I had it. And I thought, oh, shit. So I boshed it.
Oh.
And he turned around and went, have you got a light, mate? And I thought, fuck, I've just done this whole thing.
And that was it, spangled.
I went through a lot of different emotions for a few hours, and I wound up spangled in the toilet for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then my mates come in and put me underneath the air conditioning, that enhanced it. I'm like, oh, no, I really am rushing. And I spent the rest of the rave in first aid.
I remember, I don't think, like, in my head, I'd be discontent with my buzz if my jaw weren't going away and I wasn't, like, spangled in a corner. And then when I did come to, I was like, I need another one, when I didn't really. And I was like 16, 17. And hearing you describe it, like your experience, it's made me think, would I want to do that again? Like, just one more trip back in town. And then, like, when you used to go, feel my jaw. Do you remember that? 1990. Oh, no, it's not going on.
Bits out your tongue.
Oh, the memories.
Yeah, they were good times.
Yeah.
But I was always, also as well, I'll say the sensible one. I was always the one that would have 10, 20 pound tucked in my sock that I told no one about. Because you go a story out, everyone's now ruined. And it's like, right, should we get a cab? And everyone goes, I ain't got no money. It's like, just as well I have then, isn't it? Like, it was always, like, not babysitting, because that makes them step, but, you know, when it's just like, no one else has fucking thought this far ahead of the night.
You're the sensible one.
Yeah, it was just like, how are we getting back from Charing Cross? Like, no one's thought about it. You've all gone out and bought 3-4 pills or 40 quid or whatever, but no one's thought, how are we getting home at the end of the night? I was always that dude that was like, and one of the few that worked. So they all knew I had a little bit of money compared to them. Do you know what I mean? But
what other raves did you mentioned? Jungle Fever, but
that came after.
Yeah, that was like 93.
That was
Fever
93.
Around. Where was you going? Like any big raves?
We were doing Fantasia, Castle Donington, Summertime, Bournemouth. We were getting it back because I had mates, as I say, some of them were older, so we were driving about in XR2s, Fiestas, and my mate had an XR3i with the free spoke wheels, the big sound system. So we were travelling about, went to the Edge.
What was your memories of Fantasia Summertime? Because everyone, the picture, everyone loves.
I thought it was the nuts.
Right, go on.
I just thought it was the nuts. One of my mates got chatted up by some absolute salt who was like well into her 20s. Like, and it was like, mate, I don't know how old we have been. This is like 92, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was like, mate, she's all over it. So we're all just encouraging him, like, fucking get into her, mate. And she's passing out pills and she was quite posh compared to us. Yeah. I thought it was great. And what's funny is me and Zoe, my wife, many years later, we were driving down through Bournemouth. Yeah. And we were driving down this country lane and I was like, I've got deja vu. Like, this is really weird. And we went past Matcham's Racecourse and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's where it was.
That's where I have no recollection of getting home. I know it was in a car. I thought it was brilliant.
Can you remember the bigness of the audience, the music?
Yeah, and sitting around the outskirts, because it was a racetrack, wasn't it? Matcham's was a race. So I remember, you could go and chill and sit on, I suppose it's where the crowd would normally watch the racing and all that. That was the one with Robbie D, wasn't it, with a bungee cord?
I think so, yeah.
Where he was bouncing about. And I can remember LSD, I think, closed. Top Buzz, Rat Pack. Yeah, I've got really good memories of it. Castle Donington was good. But for me, the Matcham's one was better. I think it was smaller, possibly. Yeah. But I remember Castle Donington was the big blow-up, inflatable dragon. I just remember the sound system being a bit shit at Castle Donington.
What about things like Helter Skelter?
Oh, yeah, we done all them. Yeah, well, dance all day long. I didn't even know where Ashford was from Peckham. We used to get coaches there. And then you got to try and remember what coach you're on to get back. My cousin wound up miles away once, just phoning me up from a phone box. I was already indoors. He's like, mate, I don't even know where the fuck I am. I got on the wrong coach. World Dance. Everyone in South went to World Dance because it was Kent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Helter Skelter Sanctuary, Dreamscapes. We used to get about like.
You did, didn't you?
It's kind of mad because you look at it now and go, well, think about it, it feels like the kids don't really travel anymore.
Yeah. I've got a question for you. So the whole, so you are a proper raver in that 92, 93, 94.
Yeah, I had the bug.
Right? You had the bug and you're going all over the country. You're going down south. You're going way up north. You're going
Done an
to
obsession.
Milton Keynes,
Plymouth.
Obsession, Plymouth. So you are like you're now a travelling MC all over the UK and world. You was a travelling raver. Do you know what? I want to know, like what your motions were of like picking up the flyers as like a 17, 18-year-old and going, that one we're going to, how you'd get your tickets, how you'd book your coaches. I want to know it all. I want to know your raver experience.
Yeah, so the flyers, flyers were massive back then. And obviously you're all collecting them, weren't you? Like they're all around the room. And so, yeah, you go out, you'd want to, record shopping, wouldn't it? Basically, it all stemmed from record shopping. Then you find out what rave you want to go. You go to the rave, you get more flyers at the end of the rave, which was just a bonus if you collect. I wish I kept them because they're worth a fortune now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
You just whack them all over your wall. You'd see lineups, be like, who do you fancy seeing? Obviously, Groove, Fabio, and all they were everywhere. Frost, blah blah blah. And it'd just be like, I wouldn't go Sanctuary two-handed for argument's sake. Do you know what I mean? There'd be a few of us, and it'd just be like, where should we go? And you just want to experience, because we were spoilt in London back in the day. But like, you could rave Monday to Sunday, couldn't you? Like, you probably do a couple a night if you wanted to. Yeah. We were spoilt, and it was like, being young and stuff, you were like birds from Birmingham and blah blah. You'd be like, let's go to Birmingham. Like, let's go. But you'd always go, I say mob-handed. There'd never be less than 4 or 5 of you. So that whole experience, and then it was just the track. It was a day out, wasn't it? Like bunking trains to get there, and just anything that was wrong, you were wrong. You're carrying drugs in your pocket, bunking trains. Do you know what I mean? Half the time you're too young to get into the rave. It's a bit of a risk, which makes it a bit. Then back, slightly later, you've got the attitude where jungle came in a little bit, where it's like, is it going to go off? Is it safe? Oh, I quite like it. It's a bit edgy, wasn't it? Like you were just like, And it was a bit different, but we were probably slightly, without bigging it up, coming from Peckham, slightly more fearless than, I don't know, someone who maybe comes from Surrey or something going, we're going to Hysteria in Birmingham. So ours, it was like, not giving it a bit, but we're like, it's no different than Peckham, is it really? Like, it's a bit moody. Like, we have that 24/7 bowling around in the 80s.
It was rough around the edges, and you know.
Yeah,
and
you're just a bit fearless.
Places,
you're like, and it doesn't really intimidate us. Like, we live around this, like properly amongst it. We know absolute wrong uns that we've grown up with, like feared people. In your teens, where it's like, blah blah's across the road. Oh shit, take your watch off. Like, you know what I mean? Hide you because they're going to make you jump up and down, and if they hear the change, you're going to get robbed, even though they know you. So we were like. It's these places. It's just something different. It's the same shit somewhere else, but we want to experience it, sort of thing. The coaches and that were, if everyone knew it was going to be a really good one, and the driver was going to get spangled, it was like not a chance. Like, we'll just get a coach. But coaches then were like £6, £7, £8, wouldn't they, to go to World Dance? Or you're like, on top of your £20, it's nothing. It's better than risking dying. I had a mate who went to Jungle Fever at Milton Keynes. And I forgot about this, actually. He was one of my first DJs that I used to work with and got on radio with and stuff. And he was around a couple of years ago, and he was relaying the story of, it was when I had the bad car crash. It was like, I don't remember that. And he was like, yeah, me and blah, blah. The car went over 3 times on the motorway coming home and that. And it was like, in that car?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't. We got the train up there. We bunked the train, a load of us. And it's like, God, I forgot all about that. Like, but I still live to tell the tale. But it's like, those drives home with the wrong driver, it's like, how many's he done?
Yeah.
And we're going down the M1. Like, yeah.
Because it is fascinating when I think back to playing at the Sanctuary, is like, you've got, especially when it was like the Sanctuary, the Rollers, when Helter Skelter would then have tents outside and all that, 8 to 10,000, like, late teenage youngsters, and a whole load of them are diving in their car and driving back down or up the M1.
Yeah.
How there wasn't more fatalities.
It's kind of mad, isn't it? When you think back.
It's kind of mad when you've...
No sat-navs, no nothing. No. It's like off your tits, driving about, finding your way home. It's like, I miss turnings now with,
Oh,
with
mate,
GPS.
me too.
Do you know what I mean? So it's and someone's reading an A to Z trying to find it, and it's kind of mad how we got through it when you think about it.
Yeah, it is mad. Like, I've never really thought about it in that sense. Like you saying your mate going over in the car, but they're also all off their fucking nuts as well.
A few DJs as well had, as we know, like had some bad crashes, but like obviously they're working.
Yeah.
But like, it was all about who was driving. And it'd be like, nah, you know what? I think I bunked the train on that one. Like, because you just know that they like to partake too much. And it's not about being in Plymouth and it's like, driver's wankered, mate. Like, he's done
Plymouth's
four.
a long old way in it to go.
Well, I didn't know who he was
Peckham,
at the time. Scratchmaster Techno.
Oh, right.
MC, Chris.
Yeah.
He used to come out drinking with us because I used to play football with his cousin. And he was just mental. He was a cool guy, Chris. And I didn't know, and he was just giving me these Obsession tapes and stuff, and I'm like, and his cousin was like, well, yeah, he MCs at more. I was like, does he? So obviously my ears pricked up a bit, and then I've kind of realised how big he was in the scene. Like, he was doing his thing, he was doing Fantasias and Obsessions, and I was like, I had no idea this was that guy. So yeah, that's how I went to an Obsession. I was just a bit like, oh, what, you played Dan all the way down there? And he was always in Gloucester and Cheltenham and all these kind of places. Never heard of these gaps before.
The West Country has an unbelievable heritage in rave history and
still does.
Rave culture. Still does. I was up. I've been up that way 2 or 3 times in the past.
Yeah, the amount of artists that come from there as well. You know, your Bryans. Who else? There's Donovan. They're all like Gloucester boys and all that. Your Voltage, your Dread MC. Like, there's loads of them, and then obviously it filters down to Bristol and stuff. Yeah. Like, there's a massive little scene up there.
Yeah, it's got a real heartbeat. So when you're going to all these raves, when do you start going, I want to get on the mic? Like you said, you had a DJ who was one of the first people you was MC DJing with. When did you start going, I want to, because you know you've done house parties.
Yeah.
You've been writing lyrics and that.
Well, the MCing game was different then, wasn't it? It was not barring as such or anything
hosting.
Like that. Yeah, it was proper hosting, and it was great at the time. And it was like, it's not that difficult. From the background I'd had growing up, reggae and blah, I was like, do you know what? Like, I can actually do more than some of it. I don't mean it like big-headed, but it was like, they're not doing anything I can't do. Like, and as much as I'm a little bit standoffish, I seem to find this persona, which was an outlet for me, like, through growing up, and you know, it was just like, oh, it's a bit of an outlet. Like, I'm crap at school, I get told off indoors. It was just, I found this thing where it was like, I can actually do something that people like, other than football. Like, I was good at football, but like, it was like, I actually enjoy this. I was beginning to dip out of football a bit. I was at that age, but I was like, this is something that I can do that I'm totally immersed in. Like, I was gone. The minute I got into the rave scene, I had so many sound tapes and stuff, like black bags full of them. I had friends that like would go back home to Jamaica and then they come back for 6 months or whatever, but they bring back Bodyguard, Stone Love tapes, all these Bass Odyssey tapes. I had so many of them that everyone would come to me for the sound tapes. Long story short, once I got into rave music, I gave black bags of them away. I was like, I'm done with it. I don't listen to that. I listen to this. Later on, regretted it because I'm like, shit, samples. Yeah. It's gone jungle. Everyone's got, I haven't got any of these samples anymore. And when I say black bags, Bill, I mean 3-4 black bags. I gave them all to my mate Jason Lee.
Has he still got Jason Lee? Have you still got these?
I gave them all to him, mate. I went to school with him and I ain't seen him for years. He probably went on to be a massive jungle producer or something under an alien.
Undercover jungle producer.
But I just gave them all away. I was totally immersed in rave music. And then it was just seeing some MCs that I was like, I can do what he does. And then obviously Everson was top of his game. Like, learned a lot from Everson, like just the timing and stuff like where to come in and Moose, obviously. So I was like, I'd like to do what Everson and that do. Mad P. It was the polar opposite of Everson, but both fantastic.
Yeah,
it
both
was like,
entertainers, both had lyrics, both had hooks.
One was dark, one was light. It was just like, this is yin and yang and the space in the middle. And like, I was like, I could do this. And then, I was sort of doing it. And as I say, it was Fearless was probably Chaz and Dave were the first people I ever heard double time.
Right.
And then obviously, like, I wasn't quite conscious that it was double time or anything. And then the reggae thing, the Papa Sands and all that. But on jungle drum and bass for me, or hardcore jungle, Fearless for me, I was just like, he's on a whole different level. Like, he was just doing this double time stuff that I was like, oh, this is like what Papa San and that are doing. Like, so I was like, well, I can do this as if I can do it over this music. I didn't have the insight to go, oh, I'm going to be the first one to do this double tap. But hearing someone else do it, Fearless, and going, well, I can do that. Hold on, maybe I can make this work. Like, and then obviously, as I said, I was doing the house parties and that, and just getting a vibe. And off the house parties, got booked for a couple of little, you know, I don't even know names of them, silly little things that were going on, and just doing mixtapes, and had this reputation, so to speak, around the manor. We used to go to my mate, Tony Miller, got a big up retreat. We used to go to his house. Now, his mum and that were proper ravers. So he was the first person I knew that had Technics. He had 6.
6? How old was he with 6 Techniques?
Young, mate. Young.
What?
Right? Yeah.
I've been DJing 5 years before I got a pair.
Yeah, he had 6. He had 6. I'm sure he had 6. He definitely had 4. I'm sure he had 6.
6 1210s. And my first pair was a knocked off pair of 1210s from somewhere. 6 1210s.
And he was good. So where I was using my karaoke machine, I was taking like edge tapes and stuff out without an MC on them, putting them in, and that's where I was practicing. And then obviously you got 2 tape decks, so I can now record what I'm doing through the karaoke and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, someone else who later on became one of my DJs as well, who I ventured onto radio with, he was like, you've got to meet Retreat, Tony Miller. I was like, really? And he only lived up the road. So I went up there, and his mum and that were proper old school ravers. So we'd be in there having a smoke, doing whatever, just practicing all day. Just keep playing tunes, There was me and a couple of other MCs. His mum and that had speaker wire that went through the hall into the front room, jamos and that in the front room. They're just there doing whatever they're doing, listening to us full pelt with like, what were those big jamos? Were they 360s or something like that?
Do you remember
you know, the big ones that everyone wanted? They had like 4 of them in the front room. So they're just sitting there listening.
Drug dealers? 6 1210s?
I don't know, Bill. I don't know what they were. They had iron gates and stuff. I have no idea. And yeah, that was just the breeding ground. He was just like, mate, like, this is the one. And then from there, he kind of dipped out a little bit. And it was another guy called Styley, who they all lived on the same estate in Peckham. Right. And through some of those mixtapes, Styley sent a couple out to radio stations and stuff. And we just dabbled on a few little radio stations. So Force FM went on to be called Shocking. So I went on there. By 96, I had my own station.
I like this bit.
I didn't have it for long. You realise that is a different kettle of fish.
Yeah,
like,
how long did you have it?
Under a year. I just got... Because in South, it's really hard to have a radio station in South because you're quite... Not so much now. You were quite limited to the tower blocks. It wasn't hard for them to figure out. It's got to be there, or there. And then there was still a few stations in South. There was a lot of garage stations popped up around 96 and stuff as well, 97.
The housey garage era.
Yeah, and once you start losing a few rigs, you start taking it a little bit personal, and it steps away from radio land, doesn't it? And it's like, you know, you're talking like £300-400 a rig or whatever. And it's like, once you know one person's had 4 of them off of you, it starts getting a bit like, do you know what, enough's enough. And it can start bleeding over a little bit. And it just got to the point where I was like, this is never going to stop. There's always going to be someone out there nicking your rigs. And I was just like, there's only one way it's going to go. Like, so I was like, I was kind of funding it. I had it with someone you might know, SLB.
Oh, SLB.
Paul.
How mad is that? What a small world.
So he was the one going up on the roof and that. I was like, I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah.
That I'll fund
Up
it.
you go, Paul.
Yeah, I'm not doing none of that, mate. Like, and then I was quite busy anyway, even to help him set up. I was getting booked to do parties and stuff on the Friday night, and it's like, Paul, you're gonna have to set up, like, because I'm out. You know, I'll be playing in Tottenham. There was one where I played in Tottenham, and Paul was like, "Oh, you've got to come and help set it up." You know, and I was like, "Mate, I was getting paid 50 quid or whatever." It was like for a house party in Tottenham. It's like, I'm not standing on a roof in Camberwell, mate. You're mad, like. So he kind of done that, and yeah, as I say, the rigs just kept going missing, and I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the finding DJs, and who was on my Denzi was on my station, who done the big garage tune. I can feel my whole world changing. He was an MC on my station, and that. Yeah, it was mainly like South London dudes that were on there, but I enjoyed. It was just the politics, the stuff that no one sees.
Of politics, like I've been on a lot of stations from like, especially in recent times, 20 years, even stations like Ministry and DAB stations I've been on, like with that many DJs. Like, of course you're gonna get it, all the ego and my time. You know the one that always happens if you're a radio station and you put on an event, and like the radio station's always gonna have their favourites.
Yeah.
And then so there's 100 DJs and MCs. There really can only be 5 to 10 who are performing at the event. Yeah. And then that's where
favouritism.
The favouritism always.
Why is it always him? Because he's the most popular one on the station.
Yeah.
Like, there was all of that. And as I say, like, just we knew he was nicking the rigs as well. It was a garage set, and it was just like, it's all gonna go. And my cousin, who used to sell the rigs and stuff as well, he was just like, it doesn't get any better. Like, it gets worse. He kind of talked me out of the whole thing by saying there was a situation he was in with another station, and he's like, they caught him and his missus in a car park, and that's when he was like, this could go so wrong so quick. About 30 of them just surrounded him. It was just like, it was when he done that, and he was like, it wasn't even me. It was, once I'm out the way, my missus is there, there's 30 geezers and they ain't got good intentions. So he was like, that's when he was like, it can get heavy. And I was like, oh, do you know what? Like, and I was beginning to get little gigs here and there. I'd already played in France, and so I was like, oh, the MC career's kind of like picking up a little bit. By 97, I was on Rude FM.
Tell me about France.
That was just someone who heard me at a house party. Was like, oh, we've got this chateau in France, and you're like, oh, what a load of old bollocks, blah, blah. But he came through, went out there, MC'd in this big chateau thing, like they paid for me to get the ferry over and all this stuff, me and a couple of others. Yeah, we done that. I've done that a couple of times. So I was like, oh, I'm already MCing in Europe. Like, it's picking up a little bit.
So unintentionally, you're not even 20 odd yet, early 20s, and you're late teens, early 20s. You're unintentionally finding yourself in some really good situations.
I think like, you can say it's luck, but it's not luck. It's hard work. But but with me, a lot of it has been me or a very close associate, right place, right time, to just go, I know someone.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got to get in there and prove yourself. And off the back of that, I've done all right. But I've been very fortunate of situations have popped up and someone has been there in the right place at the right time and gone, I know just the geezer that you might be looking for.
Yeah.
And it's all, that's how I got the Fabric residency and everything. It was just someone in the right place.
Rude FM. Do you think that's a pinnacle moment for you?
Massively.
And what year is that?
Massively. That was 97. I think me and Styley got on there, and we were doing originally 4 till 6 in the morning, Sunday morning, graveyard, and none of us were driving up there or nothing. We were bunking trains and then night buses going from Peckham to Tottenham, Edmonton kind of sides. Yeah, they were good times, man. But we'd have to go up there and plot there for hours and hours, because it was like, mate, the night bus comes every hour. So if we miss that one, we're missing the show. So we need to be there for 1 in the morning. We're not on till 4. Do you know what I mean? So by the time you get back as well, finishing at 6, by the time you're like, mate, we'd leave the house at 10 at night and get back at 10 in the morning to do one.
That's dedication.
Yeah, I loved it though. Loved it. But then obviously you're like, there's no toilets. There's no, where do we go for a lash? And it's like, oh, you're going to have to go down the road. It's like, what? Rats running about everywhere. It was just like, oh. But the characters you met, it made you appreciate when we did get to where we got to. It's like, mate, all of that paid off.
How long did you do that, Rude FM for?
Got on there in 97. We were doing 4 till 6. Then we got upgraded to 10 till 12 on a Saturday morning. And we called it the Rude Awakening Show, me and Styley. And we had quite a big following. Like, that phone would pop off. Because people were coming out of raves and still buzzing and stuff, like when we were, doing our show. So we called it the Rude Awakening Show. Then there was a split. So Rude FM was 10:43. So you had Reki and Fuji, the original founders. Then you had Chillum, R.I.P. Chillum, and Cyrus was his missus. And Reckless had to go on holiday for a while. So while he was on holiday, Chillum was helping. And then when Reki come out, it was like, do you know what, as a thank you, you can have a stake in the radio. Needless to say, they had different ideas and they went different ways eventually. So the original route, it was like one of us can keep the name, Rude FM, the other one needs a new name. Whoever has the new name keeps the frequency. So Rude FM, the original Rude, who I stuck with, went to 88.2. And Rude, the other lot, Chillum's lot, stayed on 1043. So they already had the listeners. We had to build up a new audience, essentially. Like people that would listen in were like, you know, where's Styling? Where's Two Shot? Where's blah, blah, where's blah. Then they got to search around the dial to find us because we're now trying to establish, well, we're all the way down the other end of the dial. So we were on 88.2 and they called themselves Rude Awakening. But they spelt it R-U-U-D. So I was a bit like, the fuck? Like, that's the name of our show. Then they got another DJ on there, nothing against this DJ. They got another, because they were trying to poach me and this Stylie, S-T-Y-L-I-E. They got another DJ on there called Stylie. So it was like, oh, they're taking the piss.
I'd be fuming.
Yeah. But
especially in that youthful energy. Like, you was fuming, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I was. I was like,
raging,
you thought of enough.
I know you was.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was all good. There was never any bad words said around it, but I was just like, mate, like, that's the name of our fucking show. Anyway, yeah, it was all good. So there was the split there, and I was doing all right on there. I was still on. I go up there at by 99. I was kind of, I can't do this anymore because I was gigging out like a lot. And I was like, I just can't do this, and I can't be, you know, mashed up and travelling from Peckham to North London for 2 hours, and like it was just putting things. As much as I really, really enjoy Pirate, it was like, this other thing's an earner, and I'm taking it serious. I'm not doing drugs and that since '96. Do you know? Like, I'm just like, I'm taking this serious, and radio is a bit of a hindrance that I just don't have the time to do it, because everything was weekend, wasn't it? Like, all the gigs were weekend, so from Thursday through to Sunday, and it wouldn't matter what slot they asked me to do. It's like, I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. Sunday, I'm fucked. I'm not coming up there to do that on a Sunday.
Really interesting, because I was on. I always say like late '93, but it's early '94. I was on Eruption FM.
Yeah.
Demolition Crew, Alan, really good friend of mine.
Well, Zinc and all them lot were on there, weren't they?
Zinc was on there.
Rage.
Nicky Black Market was on there. Rage was on there. There was a few really good.
Clarky on there?
Clarky was on there. Yeah, bloody hell, your memory's amazing. And I remember, so I had my Labyrinth residency and I was on Eruption. And then in 6 to 8 months later, mine and Sonia's son was born. All of a sudden I was everywhere, like up and down the country. And as much as I loved radio, once you start getting on that road and other
life
things
can
are
just get in the
happening,
way,
and
yeah.
it's like, oh, I was only young. I was like 19. Do I want to be up here being locked in a block of flats when my son's at home? Your records. Yeah, so I get where you're.
Whereas with me, it was my voice as well. It was like, well, my voice is rinsed. You know, like, so coming up there, even if it's, oh, can you do Sunday then, like 8 till 10? It was like, no, really, my throat's in bits. Like, because it's all quite new as well, you know, like over time you build up a tolerance and you've got throat muscles and blah. But back then it's like you've gone from MCing on a pirate, you know, MCing on a rig is completely different to talking into this mic now. Your projection, everything. So it's like your throat is ripped to bits at the end of the weekend back then. And the sound systems weren't as good, as you know. The engineers didn't really give a shit. It's just like, plug the mic in, there you go, mate. You're kind of fighting with the music a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was just like, I suppose it could be taken that he thinks he's too big to do it. It was never that. It was just like, I haven't got the time, mate.
Yeah,
like,
and also when you're like that dedicated, like going up all the time to the radio, like then your gigs are coming in, all of a sudden you say, you mentioned the word luck earlier.
Yeah.
You're creating your own luck, and then all of a sudden all these other things are coming at you. And sometimes in music and in life, when things start blowing up in different directions,
yeah, you
have to go, don't
What
you?
I learned off of radio as well, Bill, like in my opinion, was I saw it with a lot, Cool FM, really, because as we go into the jungle type fit, that was the one, wasn't it? Rude FM was always a bit darker, more hosty, and darker beats. It kind of repped the other side. So, you know, like on Cool FM, you had Trace, and people were like, oh, Trace is dark. Some people hated it, some people. Rude FM was more sort of that kind of, although they had a lot of MCs on there. Like people go, oh, Rude FM didn't really have MCs. When I was on there was me, Eksman, Herbzie, Evil B, Rage. Like we've all gone on to be. Mark System was on there, System MC. There was a load that come after me as well. But like when I was on it, it was like, mate, for a station that didn't have MCs, we're all top of top right now.
That list of MCs is like
and now,
iconic.
30 years later, X is top of the game. Evil B's top of the game. Do you know what I mean? There's a few. Thunder B was on there. He's gone on and he had some big garage tunes and stuff. There was for a station that didn't have MCs, it was like, mate, we've done all right. Like they're all A-listers now, all of those MCs. So I was on there, going back to your question, I was on there by about 2000, I'd just go up there occasionally and do a guest slot.
So that's Rude. And what were the first lot of like mainstay gigs, would you say, in that sort of like 96 to 99 period? Like your first lot of gigs, like gigging out.
They were mainly little dark events that would go on, like small things. I was never like, I don't know, 97 and that X and that were probably One Nations, like in room 3, 4 and all. I've been very lucky. I've never done that route. I've gone, the only second room I ever done was Fabric, which was Fabric Live in like end of 99 into 2000. But no one really classed that as a second room because that was popping. That was the drum and bass room when it was Fabric Live. So I've never really done that route. I've done small dark clubs, and then through playing on Rude FM, we done something called Rude in the Dam, probably about 98 maybe. And I done Dylan and Fax, a set with Dylan and Fax, and they were hardened, can't stand MCs, they're shit. And I was like, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Like, because I was one of the top MCs, you know, management said on Rude FM, they were like, yeah, you're doing Dylan and Fax. And it was like, okay, cool, this is going to be fun. So I held back a little bit. When I worked with Styley, I was a bit more double-timey, and I mean, I very rarely listen back to my sets, but I listen back now and go, I sound like a fucking chipmunk on speed. Like, with Dylan and Fax, I held back a bit. They were in it. So off the back of that, they had already toured America and stuff. They had Biotic Records, Triple X Records, all that darker type stuff. And they were like,
lives in America now, doesn't he?
He does
He's
now,
America,
yeah. Fax is probably, they're all like Hertfordshire, kind of, North London, Hertfordshire.
Yeah. Dylan worked at a distribution company where I was.
What were they called?
Alpha Magic.
Alpha Magic, yeah. So, and they took me on tour. And I was doing all of Europe with them guys, which was like, got to big them up, man. Like, they really showed me the ropes, taught me a lot. Because there was one point, I remember being in a rave and just doing my thing. And Dylan turned around and he went, I don't mean to bust your bubble, mate, but like, you do know they ain't got a fucking clue what you're saying, yeah? And I was like, you talking about, mate? They're loving it. And he, bless him, Dylan grabbed the mic and went, if you want to see my willy, somebody say yeah. And they went, yeah. And he went, mate, they ain't got a fucking clue what you're talking about.
Because he was very dry and funny, because Dylan worked in Parliament as well in Hertford for a little while. Then he went
to roll with Danny Breaks and that, didn't he? Because of
I remember him, man.
Outbreak recordings and all that stuff.
Mate, I could imagine you not being away.
Yeah. But yeah, because Fax was the quieter one, but like, yeah, he was a boy as well. And then there was Beaky and all them kind of lot. They showed me the ropes, man. They took me on tour, and I was, you know, France, Germany, Austria, all these places, meeting, you know, other fellow producers and stuff. So you're building up links now as well. And it was probably off of, it's skipping forward a little bit, but I probably got into Renegade Hardware because of Dylan. Because the first set I ever done at a Renegade Hardware, I think was 2000. It was definitely in 2000. I just can't remember if it was beginning or the end of 2000, but it was a Dylan set, and from that, I was on every Hardware for 10 years.
Wow, that is some resonance.
But Clayton spotted me at Fabric.
Yeah. So Fabric come.
Yeah.
So how often was you at Fabric?
Every Friday.
Every Friday.
It was me and GQ. That was it. So I would do 11 till 1, GQ would do 1 till 3, and I would do 3 to 5. God, and I got 50 quid.
What?
50 quid I get, but my cab was probably 40 there and back.
Tenner for a kebab.
But like, I was, again, it was one of them. I was meeting everyone, and the work that come off the back of that. So
What a
if you're thinking
residency,
one
mate.
night, Bill, I could do Kenny Ken, Ray Keith, come off for 2 hours. GQ might do Andy and Mickey Finn, and then I might do Ed Rush and Optical and Dillinger in one night. And I'm playing on pirate radio. So it's like, mate, I've gone to fucking heaven. I'm not interested in the 50 quid at all. And off the back of that, you know, skipping a bit, it's like Valve, just working with these people that had labels and label nights, and then going, you'll do, you're all right.
Yeah.
Like, boom. And all the work come off the back of that. So I've got to big up Sean, RIP, Fabric. But that came off of, you know what I was saying about someone being in the right place at the right time? I got asked to do an internet radio show, and it wasn't really a thing back then.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was called World Dance or Interface or something like that. And I couldn't go. And my mate, Devastate, who played on Rude FM, who later went on to be called Mechanism, MC Recordings, GQ's label, he went to do it on his own. And while he was there, he was running up to jail or whatever, and he got talking to this geezer who's sitting next to him, and this geezer's girlfriend was playing on the radio before my mate. And they just got talking, and he's like, yeah, blah, 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 I'm putting this event on. You know, it's fucking hard trying to find MCs. Obviously, I've got GQ because he worked for GQ's label. He's like, but trying to find any others. And my mate just went, I might have someone for you. Boom. And he went, right, tell him to come down to Scala on Friday. Bang. And I think he put me on with Black Market and Ray Keith back to back. And off of the back of that, he went, stay on until GQ gets here, which I did. And then the following, once I came off, he was like, next week, Fabric, Friday. He was the booker. Because I don't think Fabric really knew a great deal about drum and bass at the time. So they had someone in that was like, who do we book? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, bang. So his missus was called Electric Lane. And she was the warm-up DJ at Fabric. So he was like, 11 till 1, GQ comes on, you go back on after. So that's kind of how I went through.
Because there's nothing like a residency. And I think in this modern day and age, people don't have weekly residencies. Whether you're a DJ or an MC, like, a residency is like the ultimate training ground. It's the ultimate place to get your style. It's the ultimate place to know a warm-up set, a peak time set, an end of night set. And very, very few people have ever been in that position where they can say they were a weekly residency at one of the most known places, and at the turning, like drum and bass coming of age, if you like. It was that whole changing.
The transition had happened. It was like, this is drum and bass now.
Yeah, and here you are, like, do you know what's unique about it is, like, you've had that unique relationship with promoter and venue, and you being the voice. Because what I said at the start, you know, you've been in the, like, the driving seat and the front row seat watching this thing happen. And it's amazing when you connect with a promoter or a venue and they trust you. That's the thing. Like, because you know what it's like. You promote events now. As a promoter, your artists are your personality. That's how it works.
You're reflecting. You're reflecting what's in there.
As a promoter, your artists who you put on reflect your vibe, your personality, and there you are. That's amazing.
And I know it ruffled a few feathers. I know there was a lot of people that were pissed off that I got that. Because it was just like they knew, but it was like, how come he's got it? You know what I mean? But as I say, I wasn't doing Room 4, 3, 2, or first set at One Nations and all that. So to some people, it would have been like, how the fuck's he got this? You know what I mean? But the work was going on in the background. As I say, it was just having the right person that didn't mind going, I might have someone for you, you know? And off the back of that, it was swings and roundabouts, because that Mark MC who got me in at Fabric, he was looking for artists for the label, like for MC Recordings, GQ's label anyway. And it was me that said to him, well, like Devastate, Mechanism, he makes tunes. He went, does he? I went, yeah. He went, tell him to send me some. He sent some. They got signed exclusively to MC Recording. So it was swings and roundabouts, and then they went on to tour Japan, and that represented MC. So it was like, it was just...
It's amazing.
It's almost meant to happen.
Yeah, it's amazing how musical connections happen. How long did that go for every Friday?
Oh, mate. Oh, this is where my timeline might nose up. I was there. It was only when I really started getting really busy, and it was like, I can do 11 till 1. I've got to be out of there, like, boom. So they started introducing some other MCs as well. Oh, I don't know how long, 2000, you'd probably get up to 2015.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is every Friday.
Yeah,
15
it was Fabric
years.
Live. Room 2 was Fabric Live, and then they started introducing, I think Hype and that took players out the end and took a punt and went to Fabric and that. So you started, it would go from 4 weeks, a month, sometimes 5, to, are you only doing 3 this month because we've got players in, and I wasn't in at players at the time. And then I think Ram went there as well, and I wasn't in at Ram at the time. So it went for, but there was a point where I was like 4 or 5 times a month, doing 11 till 1 and then back on 3 till 5. And then they started going till 7, didn't they? And I was like, this is getting a bit strong now. It's like 6, 7 hours. But as I say, it was the melting pot and the meeting ground for me. Like, because I would go to Music House with my mates who would cut, but I've got nothing to trade, no one to really talk to. How do I get into Dillinger if I've got nothing? They'll go, do you know? So that was my Music House. It was like, oh, I'm working with Mickey Finn. Like, better come correct. Do you know what I mean? And you know, because they all love GQ, it was like, right, well, if I go down that sort of avenue with Mickey, hopefully I won't upset him and jar him on the set. And do you know what I mean? Or if I was working with Andy, you know, you could go balls deep a little bit more and blah, 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 because he's just chopping and rolling. And it was incredible. You think back now and you're like, 50 quid? But mate, it was worth fortunes. The work I got off the back of it.
Yeah, it fascinates me from an artistic, creative point of view of like what you must have learned and the sheer amount of different musical styles you would have hosted and MC'd on, the sheer amount of people you would have entertained. That is some experience.
Yeah. And that was when it was, you know, Fabric was the spot. Like 99 up to maybe 2010. So it was the gaff, wasn't it? It was like, it was the new Ministry. Yeah. It was the super club. It was where all the tourists wanted to go. It's where all the, I mean, I was looking at it a couple of months back, and it's like the lineups are insane that Fabric used to put on a Friday night. Like, you couldn't afford them now. You know, Andy, Shy FX, Ed Rush, Optical, like the list is Ed Pendulum, all in one night. It's like, mate, you couldn't afford it.
When you was there, who was like, give me 3 DJs who really stand out, who like their sets, you'd be like, I love it. My style really suits them.
I remember I come off once, I didn't think much of it.
Always the way.
Yeah, like, I don't mean that against the DJ, but I remember me and Shimon done a set once and come off and everyone was like, fucking hell. Like, but I was just going through the motions that, like, you know, it was just like, you're just doing your thing, innit? But everyone was like, mate. There was a good one with Shimon. Andy used to terrorise the gaff. You know, we're talking vinyl and everything back then. Andy, Ed Rush and Optical used to do some major damage in there, which was the polar opposite of what Andy was playing, sort of. Shy FX used to turn it on. Zinc used to turn the gaff upside down. It's hard to say because they had everyone passing through it every week. That's what I mean. It was. I'd look at the monthly flyer and go, "Oh, can't wait for the 22nd of Feb." Do you know what I mean? Because although the week before was the bollocks as well, it was like, "Oh, that's a biggie." It was almost how I used to feel as a raver. Looking at, because Laserdrome was my haunt, that was round the corner from my house. You know, you'd be like, oh, that's a good lineup. And then you get to the end of the month, you're like, oh, that's fucking massive, that lineup. Definitely ain't missing that one. It was that psychology, but now I'm MCing over it rather than raving to it. So it was like, oh, that lineup there, I'm well excited for that one in 3 weeks. Because I knew that GQ's only doing 2 hours. I'm doing most of these DJs. It's just a question of what 2 GQ's doing. But I got to big up GQ as well, because he taught me a lot, man. Like, and also Moose told me, you know, even to this day, he still slaps me like, like, hold the mic properly, don't cup the mic, you know. But because they didn't need to help, they could have just been like, who's this? You know what I mean? But they all kind of nurtured me through a little bit, so I've got to big them all up, man. Moose is the daddy. He does not get the credit that he deserves. He's a founder. I played at Ron's thing Saturday, and whenever I'm doing Hootenanny this Saturday as well, whenever Moose is in charge of setting up the thing for the MCs.
Yeah, I agree.
Mate,
yeah.
And Saturday at Ron's thing was wicked. I stood, because Moose stands behind the speaker more so than on the stage. So I just followed suit. I was like, do you know what? It sounds nice here. I'm just going to stand behind the speaker. So there was a tiny little stage and I was on with Ray Keith and he's doing his thing. And it took you back to jungle. It was just a dark little thing. He's got the delay on the mic. Yeah. It was like, this is like going back 35 years, man. Like, this is nice. It's just juggling. There's no MC going prompt this, prompt that, blah, blah. It was like, it's just nice.
No, I love about Moose, because he can DJ as well.
Sound man, isn't he?
He can select tunes. He's a perfectionist on the mic. Off the mic, he don't take himself seriously. He takes that mic seriously.
Yeah.
I can walk through a crowd. He can see me coming. He can see everyone like having a pitch. He'll come, oh bastard, grab me privates, and that's me reduced down to a little boy. Because Moose, who's much older than me, has reduced me to like a little boy because he is. Yeah, do you know what, Moose? Moose, he DJ, last time he MC'd for me in Corfu, right? I woke up like the following morning and all the hard house ravers around the pool going, Moose was out raving with us till 3 o'clock this morning. He brought us all kebabs. He was like, he'd done his Moose, MC bit at the jungle drum and bass part. Then the hard house lot had an after party and he'd ended up so into the hard house, like dunga, 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 then gone and brought them all kebabs.
Fair play, man.
Yeah,
you got to love Moose.
I love Moose.
He's the unsung hero of the MC world, man.
Yeah, the godfather.
Yeah, all day long. Like he doesn't get anywhere near the amount of credit. So like for me, it's Moose, GQ, Fearless, and Navi.
Yeah, I love Navi
because Navi just what I grew up on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I learned so much from them, like timing, you know, when to come in, when not to. That's what I mean about Moose. At some point, MC wise, this is someone created. Don't talk over vocals. Someone made the rule book somewhere.
Yeah,
he's one of that school of. That's what I mean. It's just like, well, you know, we're all following what they created. They're the ones that were like, you don't MC over vocals. Yeah. You don't do this. Don't do too much. Don't go balls deep on a warm-up set. That someone made the rule book. Yeah. The unsung. It's like he doesn't get the credit he deserves, man. He's one of them.
Before we move away from Friday nights, right? You just said something there. Warm-up set. I think the art of the warm-up set has been lost.
All day long.
Way. And that kind of like, not to be too political and like this old bastard who's saying, the warm-up set. But a warm-up set sets the tone of an amazing
That is a skill
night.
on its own.
That is like, if you can master the art of the warm-up set, you will fly in any direction as a DJ or a host. Yeah. Like
it's the hardest set to play. You're setting the tone.
Really, right? The other week, I put on a do at Ministry of Sound, right? And I'm out the back in the office. This was an all-day at 12 to 9, right? All of a sudden, I can hear some geezer going, Oggy, Oggy, Oggy. I flipping shut my laptop down. Sonia, who the fuck's I'm doing that? No one's in yet. It's the bar staff. And but there is such an art in like being like warming the crowd, introing him to this thing, and then like, bam, then all of a sudden, do you know what I love? Like that you have watched a crowd gather every Friday into Fabric. Yeah. So you see it go from one person to 1,500 people, and then like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about like the art of the warm-up set.
Yeah.
Play for 3 hours, DJ. Host just invite them into this vibe.
We have to, because no one. I mean, the days of people boshing in queues when we were kids and getting straight in, and you know, it become a bit more cool, didn't it? To go out, certainly jungle raves. No one was really walking in and going, "Oh yeah, first one on the floor." You'd have a couple, but like it was round the back, and I kind of learnt that even from the reggae dances, all round the back until it gets so busy. That the people that were at the back are now at the front. So you're kind of you're making them bubble until the point. It would be like if you started a rave and had the lights on. No one wants to be the first prick on the floor dancing because everyone's looking at you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there is an art to going. It's same with the sound system. Don't turn it up too much. Draw them in, and then crank it up and let the next DJ go to another level. But I think social media is part of that as well. It's like everyone wants fame real quick.
We're all so quick.
Everyone's filming it. I've got my mate filming me. Watch me drop this. It come out yesterday. It's.
You know what, right? I ask every promoter who puts me on, please let me have 2 hours, like early set. But they all want to put me on peak time and last, right? And I love it. I've played Clockwork Orange, right? They put me on 2 and 3 hour sets. I can like Zap. It was Zap Club at the start of the year. And I can just 2 hours, let me just vibe this crowd in. I did 2 hours at S Paradise. And it's like when we can really show people our vibe, and you can build them, can't you? And like then take them to the...
We'll take them on a journey
Yeah.
rather than here's a load of bangers.
Yeah.
That you're going to hear all night long because
So
everyone wants a reaction.
So I've gone off on the warm-up sets there, right? So every Friday, you're in Fabric.
Yeah.
Then tell me about like then your Saturdays or like other events you'd go and format and host and DJ. So Dylan and Fax, you're off touring.
Dylan and Fax,
Every
I do.
Friday, hosting and MCing for everyone.
Yeah. And then Saturday, off the back of, that's what I mean, off the back of Fabric, there's other things coming in now.
Yeah, I want to know about that.
Clayton spotted me not long after I'd been at Fabric. And the funny thing was, when he came up to me in the booth, Clayton Hardware, he was just like, yeah, can I take your number? And I was like, no. Like, but I was working. I wasn't like trying to be rude or anything, but my phone got stolen the week before at Fabric. And back then, it was like, oh, it's going to take a couple of weeks until your phone comes through and we got, all that long. So I said to him, you'll have to take his number. He took Mechanism's number. Long story short, he got in contact with Mechanism and then we went down for a meeting and he was like, yeah, again, I'm going to do a Trouble on Vinyl thing. I need you to come down at Scala. So it was Scala again. I'd done that. And then the following week or end of the month or whatever, he was like, yeah, there's a Hardware. Like, I want you there. And I went there with Dylan and done that. I think I'd done a few sets with Dylan because Clayton would do like 6 a year at the end. They were bi-monthly. And off the back of that and the tape packs that Clayton was doing, other promoters are now hearing as well. So it's like I've gone from Peckham, South London, and now it's going out a bit. I'd already done France and that, and I've done a bit of Europe with Dylan and Fax, but now the promoters are going, who's this? You know what I mean? And you know what it was like, even if they weren't fully into you, you're a name on flyers and you're popping up, you're quite hot, going to get you in. And obviously your fee's relatively low then compared to once you're established. So they're all taking a punt. But in the early 2000s, I was so blessed and I'd love it to go back to that. I could do Monday Club. Probe and Zara would have a night called Monday Club. Tuesday, I could be in Sheffield doing Tuesday Club. I was working these days as well. I worked in the Jewellers in Brixton. So Tuesday I could do Sheffield, go in, no sleep. Wednesday was Herbal. There was always something at Herbal, whether it's therapy sessions or whatever. I'd always be doing prototype night, grooves night. Thursday was Bar Rumba. I was down there a lot. Friday was Fabric. Saturday was anything else that I couldn't do. So it might be 2-3 bookings on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday, there was always something at, again, Herbal or what was the place down Camden? GQ and that used to do an MC recordings thing. Can't remember. There was always something on and then Metalheads. I was doing Metalheads on Sundays and stuff as well. So 7 days a week.
Wow, mate.
But if you think even then you were
yeah.
nicking 100 quid, 150 quid, you're like, mate, you could make over £1,000 in a week. All cash in hand as well,
Yeah.
which used to be nice.
Yeah, cool.
Do you know the envelopes? But and I was working as well. So it was fun. The scariest part of being an MC was when it got to the point of, do I jack the job and just go in? Because you know it can end. As, the hard bit's getting there.
Yeah.
Staying there, maintaining it's the hard bit. And it was like, oh, that's a bit risky, isn't it? Like,
When did you leave your job?
Not that long, probably not as long as people think. I had my daughter in 2003. So I didn't. That's why I've never. One of the few countries I've never gone to is America. Every time they wanted me out there, certainly with a Renegade Hardware sound. Every time I got propositions, I was like, I could go over there for 2 weeks and come back to no job. The security's gone. So 2003, I had my kid. I would say I jacked probably 2006, and I haven't really worked.
You haven't looked back since then.
No, but it was just taking that jump. Do you know what I mean? So there's things that gigs that I've really wanted to do that I've sacrificed because it's like security's gone, man. Like, what happens if I go from 4 bookings this weekend to next month I've got 1? Like, I'm banging in trouble with a kid and the missus, and so I was always a bit, but it was once you get involved with the agents and that, and they're like, mate, boom, you've got 7 this month, you've got 14 next week. That's when it was like, I think I can jack this now.
With like performings and hosting,
Yeah.
7 nights a week,
Yeah.
having a residency where you're performing and hosting for 4 hours. Was you writing lots of lyrics? Was
Yeah.
you all the time?
I was then. Like, once I got onto radio on a regular... So that's what I mean about Rude. Rude was probably the change. Because like I say, Evil was on there. X was on there. It was like, yeah, got up the game massively. Sounded like nothing like them, but it was like you still got to be in a... It is... Pirate radio is quite competitive anyway.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah,
wants to be the top dog. Everyone wants to be the one where it's like, hold on, Billy's getting loads of bookings, man. Do you know what I mean? I've been on this station 10 years and Billy's getting loads of bookings. It's like, well, Billy's up right now. Do you know what I mean? So I think, you know, going off on one, I think pirate radio dying gnawed a lot of the scene up because it was the learning ground. Even for MCs. Well, not necessarily, I mean, that came later where it was like, you know, you'd be up there double timing and barring off and showing what you can do. But long before that, all MCs on radio were just hosts. You needed to know how to be up there all night or even a 2-hour set. You know, big up 841, big up big up Sandra, Anita in Charlton, do you know what I mean? Sounds like the Billy Bunter. And then you shut up for 5 minutes and blah, blah. It was your learning ground. And then as you say, warm-up sets, you were like, we just do that, but it's 2 people and a little bit more balls to it. Do you know what I mean? And then as you got picked up a bit more, before you know it, you're doing prime time set, and then you can really showcase what you do. Whereas going back to what we were saying before, now some MCs, for instance, because I'm an MC, I'll talk about MCs. They'll get on the mic. It's like you say, there's no one there. It's like when I say you say. It's like there's no one fucking here, bro. Yeah. Like it's gonna sound shit on a recording or whatever the purpose you've done it for, because there's no sing back. Like just roll it out, man. Like
be cool.
But I'm fortunate. Again, this is an age thing. I watched Moose, Hardcore General, GQ, all these people where it kind of was the host thing, and it's like, right, well, we got that on lock. Then, as I say, 92, 93, Fearless was double timing, and I was like, oh, that's a bit Papa Sanny, like from reggae. So I'm like, okay, cool, can do that. So now it's like, I got the host, I got the double time thing. It's just the stage presence and that. And you can't teach someone that. I'm really fortunate that I worked with GQ every Friday, and you know, your moosies and all that, and you know, then I would go and do bar rumba, and you would watch them tweaking bits on the mixer. That, you know, when that's a new environment, and I'm working with Jumping Jack Frost, who's not the Frost of now back then. Do you know what I mean? Although me and Nige have always been cool, like love Nige, but like
we're proud of Frost. We're proud
all day long, bruv. All day long, mate. He's killing it.
Yeah.
But you're scared as an MC, new environment, to lean over and start touching things because it's like that's not really my domain. Like a DJ could be like, "What are you doing? Fuck off!" Like, so you are a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's what I mean about people like Moose. Love you, bruv. It's like he would stand there and go, "Needs a little bit more tops." He would do it because no one's going to tell Moose fuck off. You know what I mean? So, but he didn't need to do it. So do you know what I mean? I've got to big up some of that. I was lucky that I kind of got taken under the wing or accepted a little bit by some of them because I was deadly serious about it and just in awe and totally respectful of all of them. It was like, it's fucking pay to listen to all of you lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like this for me is heaven. If it finished tomorrow, I've far surpassed anything I ever set out to do.
Yeah, especially 7 nights a week in that era.
Yeah, it was great.
Incredible. How'd you keep your voice? Like when you're
I used to smoke.
Night?
I used to smoke, and my voice was a lot graspy. Like it was just raspy. It was just like ugh. When I stopped smoking, I struggled for a bit because all of a sudden, for the first time, I'm now straining my voice, and there's no nicotine coating on it. So I will come off, and I'm like, I'm in bits. It's not so bad now because before we turn up and just be given a shit mic, now you can select a mic. So I use a Sennheiser, but before that it was a Shure SM58 beta. That was the betas got a little bit more about it than just the standard SM58. You know, a bit geeky talk now, but you start learning what mic works for you. So some MCs will use an EV. I don't like EVs. They cut through, but they're just really loud. Like, and I'm one of the MCs that turns up and goes, turn me down. Like, and I need his music in my monitors 50-50 ratio because I want to be in what he's doing. I don't want to stand there. It's in my brain before it comes out my mouth. So if I'm hearing it out my mouth, I don't need to hear what I'm saying 3 times. I need to hear what the fuck he's doing, no? So I need some music in that monitor, and then I can get into it, and then that will come across. Whereas if it's just me blasting out my monitors, it's like, well, all I'm hearing is me. I'm not in what he's doing.
Yeah, you want to feel the whole ambience. And
well, my job essentially is to be the middleman. If I can't hear the music, how the fuck can I get the atmosphere over to them for them to, like, come on? It's something that grapes me when you got MC, turn the mic up, turn the mic up, turn the mic up. It's like, bruv, there's fucking feedback. Like, just move to one side a little bit, or it needs fixing.
Yeah, sometimes I have MCs where my levels are perfect.
Yeah.
I can see the MC's levels are perfect. Turn me up, they come and turn it up, and they just push my whole thing into, like, beyond the red, and I'm like... do you know what? I used to be really bad with MCs. I used to not let them on.
A lot of them did.
If they were shit,
Yeah.
Like if they were really bad, I would genuinely turn them off.
Yeah.
In the mid-90s, but it was a different time
Yeah.
then, you know, like
The thing with MCs is there's a lot of shit MCs. Like, and then that, just all MCs are shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the thing is as well, like, we've seen it. You've had hip hop people, grime MCs, blah, blah. They all try to come on drum and bass. Mate, drum and bass MCing is an art in itself. Just because you're a sick lyricist and that, it's like, there you go, there's the mic, go and MC over, you know, whoever, for 60 minutes. I guarantee within 10 minutes they'll be looking to the side going, I'm done, mate.
I caused a bit of controversy when Shabba was up, because I actually said to him, like, as a DJ, I think that you guys have got a harder job than me.
Ooh.
Right. And I said that as a DJ. Like, not only am
Right.
I a digital DJ, I'm a vinyl DJ, and I'm a DJ with 35 years of absolute, like, professional career path, right? And I mean it, because, like, I really, like, I love Ragga Twins, like my brothers, and I just
Lindy and
love
Demon.
Ragga Twins, right? But then I work, because I do the hardcore, I work with people like WizKid. Because I've worked with so many people in my career, and it does fast. If I play 30 or 40 records in a set, or tracks in a set, especially if it's digital, it's just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
You guys have so many lyrics to remember, so many.
I struggle
things
now.
to-
All I
yeah.
do, Bill, is write. Like, Mrs. will tell you, because where she's got radio shows and all that, she's constantly got. I just sit there. My whole writing process has changed now. It's very, very weird. It's difficult to explain, but, like, I do it on the phone now, whereas I used to write them all before. Otherwise, I could not memorise them. Now I write so much, it's like I get on stage and go, I can't fucking remember any of them. Not one. But you always have the ones that are always at the front, the go-tos. Like, it will just be like a sentence that will roll off.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that one. All right, boom, boom. But the new ones, as I'm getting older, I'm like, mate, I'm fucked. Like, I have to listen to it before I go to sleep. Like, I do mixes of like 20 minutes, half hour. And it's just all the fresh bits. And I have to put them in before I go to sleep and just hope that my brain's...
Shabba said sometimes he wakes up in the night remembering lyrics, and his Missy says to him, "Are you doing your lyrics in your sleep?"
I'm the same. I'm the same, mate. Like, it's really bad. I could write a lyric now with you, not remember it in 2 minutes. But I can tell you the theme tune of a TV program, or word for word Supergram and things like that. Like, it's so weird. It's like, my brain's in bits, mate, when it comes to lyrics.
So Dylan and Fax, the first people you toured with.
Yeah.
What other DJs have you toured with? Like
Goldie, Andy, Noisia. I've done a few. Yeah, done a few. That's what I mean. I look back now. I don't really think about it until I have to, and then I'm like, oh, mate. From where it started to who I've worked with and where I've gone is, like, actually quite insane.
Oh, mate,
like, insane.
It is incredible. So I explain. Do you know what? My inquisitive mind's working
Go
away.
for it, bruv.
I want you to explain a tour, because they're all different personalities.
Yeah.
A tour with Goldie, a tour with Andy, and a tour with Noisia. I want to know, like, some of the gigs you played.
A tour with Goldie
the
is great
difference
fun.
in the music. I want to know. Like,
Now, a tour with Goldie is great fun. G's hard work.
Right.
I love him to death. He's hard work.
In what way?
He's just everywhere is a commotion because he's Goldie. You know what I mean? Whereas you could go with Andy, but it's really only drum and bass people that know who Andy is. Everyone fucking knows who Goldie is, whether it's James Bond or whatever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, that's that Goldie guy. Like, do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, obviously you can have a right giggle with Goldie as well. You can get yourself into hairy little situations as well. But, like, yeah.
You said that with a smile on your face.
Yeah, there's nothing that bad. Like, there's been situations. I mean, yeah, we've been in Turkey, having bags searched. Guns waved at us. Yeah, there's been and it's like, oh, mate, of all the places to get in trouble, I don't want it to be Turkey. Like,
how did that happen?
Just, I don't know. Like, it was a very weird situation. I don't even know if G would even remember any of it. But it was like, there was one particular bag they wanted, and considering I can't remember where we were the night before, but we're in Istanbul. We've done the gig. We're back at the airport, and they just came over to it, and they were just like, that bag. Whilst we're at the BA desk, it was just like, what? And it was like, that bag. We want that bag in that room. And it was like, we've got 4 bags and you want that bag, which was his DJ bag. So I've always been a bit like, Has someone bubbled us up on something? Because they only want the record. Like, it's very weird that that's the only club that was in the club.
Right.
And it's the bag they want. Like, so they either know who we are, or it was a very weird situation, Bill. But like, yeah, there was some good ones with Goldie, Russia, and that eating in like cafes that have just got truckers in it at 4 a.m. Yeah, very weird in the most remote part of Russia and stuff. Andy's a different kettle of fish. He's a celebrity. I've done some good ones with Andy. South Korea. We've done the Olympic Stadium. And our dressing room, do you remember Ben Johnson, who won the Olympics?
Oh,
and he was disgraced, wasn't he? It was like...
was he American?
No, he was Canadian.
Canadian,
it was him and Carl Lewis. And he beat the world record, didn't
Right,
he? And it was like, yeah. The room where he got tested and found was mine and Andy's dressing room at the Olympic Stadium in Korea.
And how many people was that to?
Well, oh, mate, we were the only drum and bass act. So it's a thing called Stadium. So what they do is they get the whole stadium and they put 5, because it's a star, 5 different stages. So you got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. As one act finishes, all the lights close, and then the crowds all stand there. So I got told it was over 100,000 people there, but it wasn't just drum and bass. We were the only drum and bass act. Can't remember who else was there, but fucking massive acts, like massive acts. And like the lights would go down, and it's just complete darkness. And then it's what stage is going to light up. You know what I mean? And it might be the one all the way behind you. Like, doo. So everyone has to turn around, and then the next stage after that set could be that. Or yeah, that was amazing. Done Arcadia, Glastonbury with Andy. That was I got told 80,000.
Right.
On the Spider. But the only reason it was so many people was they'd moved it that year. So when all the other stages had closed, that was the only thing open, going back towards the tents or the exits. So the sound engineer was like, everyone's going to come here because it's the only thing still open. There was that. I had a mad one coming back from Romania. That was a gig with Andy. We were only out there for about 12 hours, but by the time we landed, we'd done the set, went back to the hotel. Andy was going somewhere else. He was on a different flight. And as I went to get on the flight, which was pandemonium, no queue, no nothing, they just pulled me up, this guy behind and they didn't have uniforms on. They're just dressed like me and you. And he's like, passport. I'm like, I don't really know how I feel about giving you my... Like, who the fuck are you? About giving you my passport. And I'm in Romania. And he, anyway, gave him the passport, gave him my paperwork to get on the plane seat, whatever. And he went, your bag's too big. I was, what? He's like, your bag's too big. I was like, bruv, he's got a pair of pants and socks and a t-shirt in it, like crushing my rucksack down. I'm like, what are you talking about? He went, it's too big. I was like, but I flew out with the same airline 12 hours ago, mate. He went, no, your bag's... I went, oh, fuck off, mate. And just, knackered in the morning. Fuck off. I knew my seat number anyway. Got on the plane. Just as you think the door's about shut, they all get on. Just, I got like 6... fucking, armed, like, machine guns in my face, get off the plane. And even the guy sitting next to me is like, that's a fucking liberty. Like, why are you dragging him off the plane? I didn't know who he was. We were flying back into Luton, so yeah, Wizz Air. And
then what happened after that?
They dragged me off the plane, basically. And I was half giving it. I'm tired. I'm like, what the fuck's all this about? Like, and they marched me up, and I said, you know what? What's your name, brother? And he took his badge off. So I turned around, what's your... They all took their badges off. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, I'm in Romania. I've got machine guns pointed at me, sort of thing. And they were basically like, yeah, 300 euros. I was like, for what? And they're like, for your bag. I was like, mate, you're having a... Like, fuck off. And then you've got to rein yourself in and be like, I'm in a foreign country, machine guns in my face. They're all in on it. They're all at it. They've all taken their name badges off. So in the end, I was like, nah, mate. And they were like, it's cash. And I was like, I ain't got no cash. You're not having no fucking money. Anyway, I ended up using a card, and they still took, I don't know, 150, 200 euros off me. So when I got back, obviously, I was just to Wizz Air, like, yeah, not a thing, mate. So I've never flown with Wizz Air since. I was like,
mad story, isn't it?
Yeah,
mate. Pants and socks in a bag.
When I say a rucksack, Bill, I mean like that you could crush.
Yeah.
It was like, mate, like, so they were just...
They just didn't like the look.
They were at it, but I probably fucked up because I still had the wristband on.
Right.
I don't know if they looked at me and went, money, festival, DJ. Like, I don't know what it was, but like, yeah, that was a fucking moment, I tell you, because I was struggling to keep my mouth shut. Because you know when you're like, mate, I'm being properly skanked up here, and you know, part of you's like, no, I'm not having it, but then you're like, oh, there's a machine gun. The old Bill's in on it with them. Like, what do you do? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. It was all right in the end.
Yeah, Noisia, because they got massive, didn't they?
Yeah. So I worked with them a few times at Hardware. At Hardware, I tended to do Loxy and Ink sets. They were like the pinnacle sort of the whole hardware vibe. And Noisia came through, and I'd done only a couple of sets with them. But I was getting booked elsewhere with Noisia, people that, because I was on that whole hardware tip and the whole like Virus, getting booked to do Virus and Groove's prototype recordings and all that kind of stuff. People would book Noisia and go, oh, we'll just get shy. I didn't realise, because I'd done a couple of gigs with them, and then we didn't work together for ages, like through no particular reason, just didn't get booked together. And then years later, their management come in and said, yeah, we want to book you for this festival. So I was like, all right, cool. 1 turned into 3 that weekend, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realise how big they were until I remember turning up. I can't remember where it was, but I know it was basically on a beach in a massive tent. You know, one of them tents, 15,000 people. Like, it's ridiculous, the size of this tent. And the Black Sea was there, so I can't remember what country it was, but the Black Sea was there. There was people, they couldn't get in the tent. That's basically the end of the story. They couldn't get in the tent, and they were raving in the sea and everything. But 5 minutes before we went on, I was like, this is so shit. There's no one here. Like, this is shit. Like, what the fuck have I agreed to do this for? And 2 minutes before they went on, couldn't get in the tent, mate. And I was like, oh shit, they are a thing. Like, and it was the closest I've ever felt to being a rock star.
Right.
Like, just the crowd hanging on to every word that I said, although they were there for Noisia. I don't know if they were like, oh, he's part of Noisia, but incredible, mate. Like, that was probably the first time I started seeing mosh pits and all that sort of stuff. It was like, this, I feel like a fucking rock star. Like, this is mental. And obviously their sound was quite industrial, but that's when it dawned on me. It was like, oh, they're the fucking real deal. In the time I haven't worked with them, they've gone to a whole different level. Like, they're bigger than the N Club, put it that way. Do you know what I mean? So, and then, yeah, started working with them on a regular basis. And I'd stopped working with hardware then. And then Andy came in, and I was doing the Ram stuff. Then I was Andy's MC. I was already doing Metalheads, and yeah, I like going back to the resident. I had quite a few residencies. It was a great time,
mate. That's gotta feel good for you, knowing that like pinnacle DJs and standout artists like call for you and trust you to be their voice, to be their host.
It's a blessing.
To be their front person, to be the person in the driving seat of their set.
And these are people that are very particular about who they let on their sets as well. Like, Noisia didn't have MC for years. And then all of a sudden I'm getting the call, and it was like, all right, cool. And then they were so busy, it was kind of split between me. I would work with Tice. And then there was Master X would work with Martin. They were so busy they could just split up the set sort of thing. But yeah, I tended to work with Tice a lot. And then it was just trying to juggle that with the Andy work. Like, Andy wants you to work with him, and it's like, oh, I've already got dates in the diary with Noisia, and you do start weighing out and go, well, who's paying best? Like, because it's the same work.
Yeah.
It's like, well, who's paying more?
What do you think, right? I know you're humble. Like, no, you are. Like, some of the things you said, like, oh, they didn't really, that 80,000 people weren't there for us. You are humble, right? What do you think it is they've all seen in you, heard in you?
I don't know. Like, I seriously, because all I'm doing is I'm being a raver. Look, already being a raver, that's all it is. Like, I'm still in that same place in my head as I was when I was 15, 16. I'm just, rather than watching someone, I am that person now. Do you know what I mean? So there's no real strategy behind it going, you know. I don't know what it is, because I don't listen back to my sets. Because I'm like, a bit shouty, bit this, bit, you know, some people will be like, all he done at hardware was shout. That's all Clayton paid me to do. Amp that up. That's why they called me the Amp Man. Get in there and take it to another level. Like, so I don't like listening to recordings, because it's like, I'm not really barring out. There's no real etiquette to what I'm doing. I'm just like, you know, when I say, somebody makes all that sort of stuff. I don't like listening back to it, because
that's one side of what you do.
Yeah. Which is now why I do all the freestyles and stuff and put them up, because it's like, you know, moving forward, which I'm sure we'll touch on, when I'm working with Mosey, I haven't got room to do any of that stuff that I sit there doing Monday to Thursday, just writing, because I need to get it out, because I never write about anything that I don't know about. So it's all life experiences, and there's little bits and pieces where it's touched up a bit and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, this needs to get out of here, because I'm quite talkative. Once I get going, I'm quite talkative. So it's like, it's driving me fucking mad in here. So I just write how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, a pen and a pad has definitely kept me, cliche, but it definitely kept me out of prison and stuff, mate, all day long. Because if I didn't have that, I was going down the wrong path anyway. So if I didn't have that, and there were like well-known people around the area going, "What the fuck are you doing this for?" Like threatening me. No, you're not doing this, mate. Go and do that. Like, don't do this. Because they all knew that I had something else to slip off and concentrate on. And it 100% saved me. So what they see in me, I don't really know.
I think that they see a touch of class and they know that they can have you on. You know when to host. You know when to hype. You've had all of that experience. And I just think like some of the name, like going on tour with Andy, Goldie, Noisia, they know that you're going to come and add that.
I'm lucky as well. I've never, like, I don't think anyone's ever seen me. I stopped taking pills and stuff when I was still raving before I took any of it serious. So no one's really ever seen me in a mess or off me nut. I've never missed flights. Do you know what I mean? I don't miss gigs. So there's probably a bit where they're like, well, he's quite reliable. You know, maybe that's got to, you'd have to ask in here. I don't really know. Like, sometimes I do pinch myself. I don't think of it until afterwards. And I go, fucking hell, that was epic. But at the time, it probably didn't look like I was really enjoying myself because I slip into this character. When I hit the stage, I can shut my eyes and just go boom. And I just take it as it is. And if the rave is shit, I go into pirate radio land where I'll just stand there, go through the motions and go, I've MC'd in, you know, derelict flats with no toilet, surrounded by rats and cockroaches. It can't be worse than that.
It's kind of like beyond unimaginable and beyond a dream to know that, like, 1 minute they're saying, well, 1 minute, 1 decade they're saying, like, where's that too shy MC? Where is he? And then all of a sudden, 80,000 people, 100,000 people. Like, that is incomprehensible to my brain. Like that is incredible.
I don't think I'll really take it in until it's gone. Because, like, where I very rarely drink. I don't do drugs. It's just that I think, unbeknownst to me, this is my buzz. And I think once it stops, that's when I'll have a crash and go, fucking hell, that was epic. Like, I wouldn't say I don't appreciate it. I don't make the most of it until after it's gone.
Well, what I've learned at this point in my life, and I hear me saying this a lot to so many people, I think why, like, in my world of old school, why there's just so much emotion around it, is for the first time, this might sound bad, but for the first time ever, I've actually sat back and I've always appreciated it. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be here. But now I really fucking appreciate it. Like, wow, is there 50-year-old people my age coming out every week
to see me?
This? Yeah. And like, the more it sounds cliched, but the more I appreciate it, the better these gigs and the better the feeling gets. Whereas when we're younger,
we're just going through the motion, aren't we?
We're just in the buzz.
I don't know when it's going to end, and I'm not really thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
But now we're like, fucking hell, like, what a ride!
Yeah.
Like, there's no, even when I was doing all right, I was like, I won't be doing this at 40. That's nearly 10 years ago. Yeah. But then you look at your Eversons and your Moosies and that and go, mate, I could do this for another 15 years.
Oh, we can never ever stop. You've seen drum and bass take some music.
Yeah.
Because it's evolved, like, you know.
I think we're in one now. There's a transition now.
Yeah.
Everyone's a bit bored of the festival thing. We had it before, you know, where this lineup looked like that lineup. The only thing that's fucking different is it's a different banner. Like, do you know what I mean? Where promoters were doing block bookings and stuff. Oh, I'll give you, you know, I know you're normally that fee. I'll give you this, but you'll get 6 bookings. But 3 will be for this, 2 will be for that, and 1's for that because I own all those promotions. Yeah, but before you know it, they've done that to a few acts, it's like, it's the same fucking lineup, just a different name on the flyer. Do you know what I mean? Like, the brand itself is a different name. I think we're going through that now, where the kids came, like, we got nieces and stuff, and it's just like the youngsters are a bit like stand in a fucking club all night, four walls. No, because after COVID, festival season. Whereas before we were like, all right, you'd have a Fantasia or a Universe, but mainly it was clubs. And then, you know, we were all going to the End Club and that decades later and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, you might get the odd big thing here or there. Now it's like every other week, it's a festival. And the club, there's very few clubs. And these kids that have come in since COVID only know festivals. 100 DJs. All right, it's 70 quid, 100 DJs. But the reality is they're all clocking on that. You can only see 8. Only fucking 8 hours. Like, there might be 100. I can only see 8 at a push. And that's running from one stage to the other to see them. Do you know what I mean? So I think where it was great at first, this is just my opinion, I'm like, it feels like it's dying off a little bit. Like, well, it's the same shit, just another week. Like, so I'm hoping, and I can kind of see it happening, the music's beginning to change, for starters, drum and bass wise, that they're going to be like, well, I'm into this. And it's only quite small, and that's what makes it cool. Same as when we first got it. I used to love going to Black Market Records and that, my Walkman on full fucking blast, pissing everyone else off on the top deck, going, yeah, I'm a fucking junglist. Ask me to turn it. I used to love that. Yeah. Just that rebellious, and you could spot one a mile off, black, white, whatever, and it was like he could have dreads on and a naff puffer jacket, and you could be walking about with curtains and a Mr. Spliffy, and you just give each other the nod. Yeah, you knew he was a junglist or hardcore. Like, do you know? And it was like, yeah, like we're the same. I loved all that. Now it's like, I think when we came through, it was a movement. It was a culture, but it was a movement, and you had to be in it. There were people that were in it, but you had to be fucking in it.
Do you think, like, coming out of that COVID bit, then, like you say, big,
yeah,
and a whole new generation of youngsters have caught that bigness, but now they want to go on their roads of discoveries, more underground sounds or more radical sounds, or go down paths of looking for older vibes and making their own. Because even in my world of, like, I move in like a lot of musical worlds where there's a Heritage 88, 89 scene who love me playing those records. But then there's like the world of like Pete Cannon and 4am crew that make new music that sounds like old music, and they feed me their stuff. So I can go like a Weekend Just Gone's a perfect example. A 3,000 people event, everyone in front of me, hands in the air to enjoy the anthem and Shades of Rhythm. Then I'm down in Bournemouth in like a little 150 people club. Everyone's jammed.
Little intimate one.
And it's like, and I love them all as much. And do you think now, like, well, we want the youngsters to experience all of those different energies and feelings.
Yeah. We're definitely going through a transition. I just think they've been spot. I mean, where would we have gone? Where you'd have had 100 DJs on a lineup?
Yeah, never.
Do you know? But so, and even if it was half that, it would have been a techno room, a garage room, a house room. Now it's like 100 D&B acts. You know what I mean? Which is great. Like, but I just think, you'll know, Bill. Like, we have these 5 to 8 year cycles where it will change. Like, if you think. The only one I can think of that happened much quicker than that was going way back when it went from like 90 to 94.
Oh,
unrecognisable.
So
it split. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In such a short space of time. But after that, jungle. I mean, when you think about it, jungle only lasted. It's still going on. It's always gone on. But I mean, at its pinnacle, at its absolute height, when it was fashionable to be involved, it was probably only a few years. Jungle, and then it immersed into drum and bass has gone on forever. But if you think of drum and bass as the tree, look at the branches that have come off. Like, you know, you've got liquid, you've got this, you've got da. Now I just think that people, those kids, and also, I'm off on one that, with the festivals, say you went to Sundown Festival in Norwich because it was 16 plus or whatever. By the time you're 18, you've been going there 4 years, you're in your 20s now, you're cool. I'm a hardened veteran at rave and at festival. I don't want to be around 16-year-old kids. So you go, I want to go Boomtown. But once you've done them all, Glasgow probably being the pinnacle, it's like, I've done them all. So it's like, I don't know now if some of them are finding a sound that they're into that's a bit more niche or whatever and going, well, I like that.
My daughter, who's 28, she goes to me, I went to a gig the other day, Dad, it was so young. What? But
that's classed as old now, isn't it? 28?
Yeah. So I get exactly...
Well, who was it I saw? I saw something online, bless him. It was a guy, he was at Boomtown, and I think on the video, don't quote me, I could swear he said, I've been coming Boomtown for 10 years or whatever. So he's probably not far off of our sort of age, maybe slightly younger. And he was like, I've been asked 3 times. Bit old to be here, ain't you? You know what I mean? And he's like, you could see him getting upset, and he's like, this is all I've got.
Bless him.
And he's like, now I feel like I shouldn't be here. I feel a bit out of place, a bit weird, because it's all girls coming up going, bit old to be here, ain't you? And he's like, I don't want to stop raving. Yeah. And my heart just dropped. I was like, you poor fucker, mate. Like, if that's all you've got, like, and people are now, I mean, I had it at Bass Fest, me and my mate Birch, and I never get to wander around festivals, but we got there so early in Sheffield. I was like, should we just have a wander, see, like, take it in. And we watched a bit of Shy FX. He was on the main stage, and I was playing in this tent. I think it was a crewcast tent or whatever. But we were out, and we were both wearing black. I have to wear black because I sweat like a pig, right? And it's very unattractive if I don't wear black on stage.
Both, mate.
Yeah, right? So we're both wearing black. He wears black anyway. And we're just standing there. And we had someone walk up and ask where the toilets were. Someone told us there's a fight over there. Someone told me a bird had collapsed. And I'm like, what are you fucking telling me for? And then we were like, they think we're security. Like, because of our age, we're wearing all black. I was like, oh, fuck this, mate. Nick this off. And I'm going backstage. This is fucking embarrassing. Yeah. And the thing is, all the people that are asking are probably raving to me in 20 minutes. Yeah. Do you know? But I was like, yeah, it's a different environment now, isn't it? Like, you do feel a little bit like...
Do you know what? I'm all right, because when I play out, it's just other 50-year-olds in front of me.
Yeah, you're all right.
I'm one of them, like, come on. But I look at drum and bass now, and I think it's in a really fun time. Like, when I see what you and Mosey are doing, when I see, like... Mandy, Dexterous, Ivy, all these, like, when I see the way, I love how Serum portrays himself on the internet, that quirkiness, and like you think you come from this super cool era of fabric and hardware and all that, but now I could never have envisaged 25 years ago, I most certainly could have envisaged when I was first like playing Congo Natty records in 93 and 94 in Dalston. Someone with a sequin suit, a cowboy hat, up there with like I say to Mosey, like the other week, I say, I really like that thing you played. And he sent me a tune, and it was like hardcore of like the early 90s.
Yeah, boom, boom, but almost gabba.
Yeah, and mate, I look at it and I think, how fucking refreshing. Yeah. For a younger generation. It is refreshing. What's that like, being up there? Like, I watched a video of you and Mosey. I think it was the Warehouse.
Oh, last year's Warehouse project.
Right?
Yeah.
Me and Sonia, combined age of 98 years of age.
And Sonia's only 30.
Yeah. in our living room. It come up. We've turned up the sound bar, put the bass on, and we're just there like this. Fucking hell! And it was like a mental stadium vibe of you two, and it reminded me, Hardcore Heaven, early noughties, mid noughties. They used to do the Air Club,
yeah.
And they had
is that Birmingham,
yeah. And they had a set called Morning Glory, and HGID, Hardcore Till I Die, full-on mental hardcore, where like Darren Styles, Hicksy, Darren Styles is massive now. Mosey needs to make a tune with Darren Styles, because I think it would be bloody brilliant. But they called it Morning Glory, 5 to 6, and I played this hardcore set. It was fucking mental. It was like a football stadium, and seeing you two perform, it's like a stadium vibe.
He's got the thing, right? First and foremost, Mike's a mate. Yeah. So you just want to. I'm working with my mate. Yeah. Like, it's fucking And if Mike wasn't a DJ, he would be on radio or television anyway. Because he's just a fucking character, mate. Like, he's funny. He's a clever fucker as well. He's got this social media thing on lock. It's again, right place, right time. If Mosey wanted to be what Mosey is now, 20 years ago, he wouldn't have a career. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's all just organic, and it's like the social media thing's massive now. Mike's got that on lock. Like, do you know what I mean? So Mosey's like, I enjoy working with him for the fun element. We're yin and yang. I think people, where I'm standing there, like, at my age, wearing black, and I'm not jumping about. I think if both of us were doing it and I was wearing sequins, it would be a Mickey Mouse act.
It'd be like Smashy and Nicey or Kevin and Perry.
Yeah.
Big box.
Do you know what I mean? So the fact that I'm up there a bit stush, like, sometimes I look around at him on the mic and I'm like, what the fuck, mate? Like, in the rave, like, on the mic, what the fuck? I wasn't expecting that. But, like, I think it's just the yin and yang. It kind of, it's two worlds colliding. Do you know what I mean? He is the now, and I'm the past that's still in the now, but I'm like that older uncle, and he's that mischievous kid. Do you know what I mean? Just cowboy. I turn around, and every time I turn around, he's got a different fucking cowboy hat on.
It's enthralling, like, when I watch it, and like, what I admire about him, and I was so proud when he won the best DJ thing.
I think he's up for it again. I know.
Like,
isn't he?
even like, do you know what? I couldn't recall where it was his 25th birthday, but I went and played for him. He just hired out like the local like working man's club, and it was when I was drinking. He said, "What do you want?" I said, "Give me a bottle of JD, honey JD," and he just got me pissed. And he used to just fucking come round and rip the piss out of me and like just take the piss out of me, and I always like that. Like,
And now he don't drink. He's vegan.
Yeah, a vegan. Yeah,
And he's still a fucking head case.
yeah, and his personality. Drum and bass. It's great to see drum and bass adopt like that element.
That's I look at Mosey's the evolution.
Yeah.
Like personified. It's like, mate, you know, like we said, that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago. You wouldn't even have been able to turn up at the dance dressed like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Let alone get behind the deck. So it shows how much we progressed. Like, that Mosey is that guy. He's all round just a good guy. I really enjoy working. And the thing is as well, because I come from, you know, rave, hardcore, jungle, like you say, when you hear the boom, 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 I just go back to, fucking hell, this is like being 16 again.
Yeah,
at
it's
Dreamscape.
like being at Helter Skelter.
Can do it, and I love doing the double time thing when he drops all the boom, boom, boom. Yeah. But it's like, oh, that cool. This is me going back to my childhood.
It dawned on me, and like, you know far more than me, because I'm just on the internet scrolling when Mosey and Charlie T and Mandy Dexterous and Ivy and other people come up. So I'm watching as like a spectator, as a fan, as a music person. And when I look at it, so when Moses sent me a tune that's got the hardcore elements in, when I see what Mandy Dexterous is doing, and I'm sure I've said this on here before, but I watched a Charlie T. She put a load of clips up, like 18, 20 clips. And I messaged her. I don't know her, but I was enthralled at like, and it reminded me of like Helter Skelter in 96, but you'd have an hour of Randall, an hour of Hicksy.
Yeah.
They then may go an hour of me or Marky G and M Zone playing a bit more hard dancey techno-y. Then they might go 2 happy DJs or 2 more drum and bass.
Well, dance was the same, wasn't it?
Yeah.
LSD,
and
Randall.
I just messaged Charlie T. I said, like, don't think I'm weird or anything, but this really reminds me of like Helter Skelter and Dreamscape, but in one set, rather than a 12-hour night.
Yeah.
And she said to me, that was my inspiration. Like that really inspired me.
Yeah.
And the same with Mose. Like he's asked me before, like, what was that like hardcore tune you used to play? Like, I'm not talking like hardcore as me and you know it, 91, 92, but early noughties stuff, which was like what Darren Styles, Hicksy and people were doing, like questioning me about stuff that I never ever thought would become like this retro vibe that would become brand new now. Yeah. And then when I see you and Mose performing, when I see the names who I mentioned, it fascinates me, because I couldn't, as someone who's always supported hardcore, always supported like the history of the music, always had my old jungle drum and bass mates come and play for us, I never ever see this moment coming. Yeah. Like it has gone the full 360. Yeah, but in a brand new packaged way. Yeah. And like, you must, at your age, you must, like, same as, listen, like there's going to be things that are identifiable, but for different reasons. Yeah. So me being the 50-year-old old school guy who plays at the majority of these gigs, sometimes I'll go and do vinyl, sometimes I'll go and do digital. It all depends, like, on the promoter and their concept of how they want me to do my sets. Yeah. I will get people hating me when they see me on digital. 50-year-old people. Yeah. This isn't real DJing. Why isn't he like that? And hold up a minute. The post below is me playing vinyl. Yeah. Right? But you're going to have the same kind of thing of people going, well, what's all this stuff you're doing now? Like,
oh, mate, I have it all the time. Yes. Have you gone from Bad Company to Mosey? Yeah. Where's Bad Company?
Yeah. So explain that to me. Like me, I don't even, for me, it's like music's music. People are having fun. It don't matter how I play this music, in the old tense, like that old stuff, I'm still the messenger for this music. And then when it's new music, it's like I'm embracing what a new generation are doing, and they inspire me for putting their twist on it.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel with such the difference in drum and bass?
I think the thing is what like the difference between DJs and MCs obviously is DJs are the tastemakers. So I could turn up in a really bad mood to work with you, and you could be playing. You could have had a great day, and you're like, mate, I'm hands in it, and I could be standing there going, you're not in this today, mate. Do you know? But I have to adapt to what you're doing. You're the tastemaker. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the same all round, as in whether or not D&B is where I want it to be. You know, and there's been loads of stages where I'm like, I'm not really feeling any of this at the minute. Like, I hope this transition happens a bit live. Where I'm like, I've just got to roll with it until it comes around to what I like. Because with a DJ, you can turn around and go, don't like that one. Don't like that one. I'm just going to play this. This is a bit more me. With an MC, I can't turn around and go, well, I'm not fucking working with him. I'm not working with him. Because the DJ that I want to work with might have an MC or might not want to work with me. Yeah. So it's like, well, then I'm out of fucking work. So you just have to evolve with it. And at some point, it's going to go to, you know, there's MCs that were massive in jungle that don't really get a look in nowadays in drum. But if it goes back to jungle again, mate, that legendary status is going to blow you back up again. Yeah. You'll be busy. I might not be busy. It's just swings and roundabouts. And it's like, at the moment, I think it's all right. Like, going back to what I was saying before, I think with the festival thing, and based off of what you just said there, like, there's going to be bits where people are like, I've seen this and I'm not really in it. I don't like the direction it's going in. I don't like Mosey's set. I prefer Brocky or whatever, right? So it's like, okay, cool. Well, if Brocky's not playing on those massive festival stages where Mosey is, you're going to have to go and seek out where, and hopefully this is how the underground's going to thrive again, because it's like, well, they're going to be slightly smaller events probably. Like, I don't mean that against Brocky, but like, it's like they're going to be slightly smaller events or whatever. And it's like, well, then you're going to have to go to nightclubs to see those DJs, because they're not being booked through nothing they've done, right? They're not being booked. Someone else is curating and going, that's not fashionable at the moment.
Yeah, because I see drum and bass a lot as like, it's the word that I'm looking for, like on a higher end, when you start talking about 80,000 people festivals, and it's become more of a business commodity, and the way that it's like controlled.
Well, that's the thing. The whole thing's a business model now.
As opposed to those like underground organic vibes and stuff. And sometimes that can be really bad for music.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Kind of.
I mean, even now you're seeing it. There's a load of festivals that are going.
Yeah.
They were bought out. They were bastardised. The cloth's been cut. And it's like, it's now shit. And that's not why people were coming here, because you've tried to make more profit out of it, and you've gone boom, 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 boom. The lineups are no longer there. You've got your selective few that you're right into. You'll pay over the odds for them. Yeah. And that's nothing against the artist. Take the money if it's being offered. Like, of course, why wouldn't you? But it's like, you can only cut the cloth so much before the brand is no longer what it was. Yeah. And it's beginning to happen now. Like, the corporates are getting in, buying things up, fucking them. And within 2-3 years, it's like, mate, that festival's gone.
Do you know what started creeping into my old bastard world of old school? And I never thought I'd see it happen. Like, actual DJs and their agents or whoever's around them going, he's got to be at the top. His name's got to be bigger. And I'm thinking, mate, you're doing this to the old school scene. And like,
it's happening in the old school.
It's happening in this world, right? Where I'm now getting promoters going, Dan, such and such has been on the phone and their name's got to be bigger and this has got, and I'm like, that happened to us. Yeah. There's no more than 10 of us. Like, how did this happen?
Which is weird. That's why I love being around my peers. Like, I'm at my most comfortable being around, you know, your Mooses, your Frost, your Brian, because in my little world, there's no competition. We've all earned our stripes.
Yeah.
We can all sit in a room. There's no egos. And I love that. Whereas being older, amongst some of the kids at the festivals and that I'm working with, I call them kids. They're not kids, but compared to me. But it's like, they're still chasing this dream. And that dream now is got to be top. And it's not just you going, I want to be the top. You've got a manager in your ear roll telling you you're the best thing since fucking sliced bread. Your agent thinks you're the bollocks, even though your biggest rival has the same agent. Do you know what I mean? And it all starts getting a little bit techie and a little bit...
It's like, literally in the past 6 months, all of a sudden I've had to start hearing myself think differently. So when it comes to Moondance, Clockwork Orange, Centervals, Epidemic, it's like, put me wherever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care where I go on a flyer. Like,
You're established. They know what they're getting.
This is what it is. And then all of a sudden people are going, such and such above you. Their logo's got to be bigger than yours.
The same in MC world, mate.
Like, how did that happen? Then all of a sudden I've got certain people ringing up me and Sonia going, we want Dan for this. And I'm knowing who these promoters are. So we're then like, who's on that? And then they're saying who, and I'm thinking, hold up a minute. They said the other week they've got to be far bigger than my name, and they need a better time than him. And I'm thinking, I've known that geezer for 35 years.
Yeah.
And so, and sometimes they're people who no one's crossing the road for, but they've put their brain in this mind frame that they've now got to be the same as this world of like DJs who are getting with their agency. It's so bizarre.
It's sad, isn't it? It takes all the. There's been many times I've sat there and gone, I can't be fucked with this. Like, because all I want to do is turn up and get on the mic and do what I love doing with people that also love what and you're like, the politics behind it. This is what makes me fucking miserable. Like, it's not the music or anything. It's the bullshit that goes on behind it. By let's be honest, people that no one's paying to come and see that talent.
Yeah.
And they're the ones pulling the strings. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, of who should be where and do. It's like, mate, if D&B, hardcore, whatever, folded tomorrow, you'd fuck off to techno.
I've promoted, me and Sonia, we're coming up to our 30th year. We always say, people who cause the most trouble on the lineup are the ones we didn't fucking want in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, every time I think to myself, and they're always one, I've got to be here, I've got to be there. I'll put my name there. Yeah. I don't want to be on after him. I don't want to be on before them.
Yeah, I want no MC on before me. It's like, mate, you're playing at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, it is a bizarre thing. Like when I think to myself, I just like, I didn't even have a DJ name. Like I didn't even like. I was just buzzing. Like if I'm literally, when Joe and Sue used to put me on a flyer at Labyrinth, I was like, wow, he used to put it on me wall. I can't believe I'm on there with Kenny Ken and everyone. And it's like, now there's all these things. You promote, didn't you?
Yeah, we do, yeah. I've had a few little attempts, but like we got something going at the minute called Formula, and it's a free event. We're doing them down in Maidstone. There's some in other places popping up, a London one and that coming up soon, and they're just free events. But it was, with everything that was going on, it's like, there's like everything we've just moaned about.
We never moan. We put the world to rights because we're old enough and we can.
Well, it's meant to be fun, isn't it? And let's be honest, everything we've just discussed there is it's the bit that no one sees, and it's like, mate, this is. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The tip of the iceberg, like the icing on the cake, is the performing. Yeah. But you've no idea of the bullshit that's gone on in order for you to even turn up. And that's not the designated slot time you were originally booked for. It's all been shuffled about because of people's fucking egos. And do you know what I mean? You get there and you're like, I'll be honest, sometimes you do get there and go, I can't even be fucked. Like, I can't be fucked with this. Yeah. Like, not the performing, just the bullshit that's come that no one knew about. Like, the ravers don't see that. Do you know what I mean? And then you turn up, there's loads. But like, going back to our event, because of all of that goes on, we're now like, there's people that are being overlooked who are very talented. They're not going to get an opportunity otherwise. Do you know what I mean? So like, and some of them are established artists as well, but they're not really getting the push because they haven't got the management and they haven't got this and they're not in with such and such. And so we're just, we started this thing called Formula because there's 4 of us involved. Like there's me, Promo Zoe, Cadence and Birchie. So it's spelled F-O-U-R. Yeah, it's F-O-U-R, as in there's 4 of us, Formula. And we've been doing things down, and it's all down in Maidstone, and it's all free entry. It's just to try and help keep the underground thriving, keep a club. We could all just go, let's go and do it at some established club where everyone does it every week. It's like, that don't fucking help all the other little clubs that are on their arse. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's trying to just keep the underground going, giving people an opportunity. No one gets paid. You know what I mean? It's like, do you fancy coming down? You don't have to. Won't be offended if you don't want to come down, blah, blah, blah. And it's just people giving to people that love.
Do you know what I absolutely love? How incredible career. You have these incredible stages you perform on every week. You and Mosey are out there flying. And you're this, but you're still so passionate about giving the underground and the underdogs a go. You could be just saying, well, I'm fucking all right, mate. I'm playing to 50,000 people this weekend, and I'm not. If Silly Bollocks wants to fucking have his name bigger than mine, what do I care? I've got all this legacy, and I'm still but you're that passionate that you're going to put on a free day, a free event to push others through, and that is testament.
But if
to
no
you
one,
doing
not
this
that we're the
for
only ones,
so
but if no
long.
one's doing that, Bill, it's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the corporates have got their hands on it now. So it's like, well, it's let's be honest, we've all seen it before. Height of Jungle, hardcore compilations.
Yeah.
To do see compilations and that going off on one again. But it's like never fucking heard of him and never heard that tune in my life. Probably got paid $4,000 or something to put it on a compilation because he knows someone who knows someone, and do you know, and it's like we've seen it before and it all fell apart and we had to pick it up. The difference is the people that had to pick it up were there from the inception, so they know how to pick it up and go, this is what needs to happen. If none of us are doing it and the corporates get hold of it and fuck it, because once there's no money, they're gone, mate. Like we all know that. That's just the nature of business. Once they do that, if the I keep calling them kids, but if the younger generation don't know, because they don't know, no one's taught them, this is what happens. It's got to be underground, it's got to be clubs, and it's got to go back, and it will get to that height again. But someone's got to take it and go, this is what needs to happen. I don't just mean that's us, but it's like if everyone goes festival, when they stop, no one's got any idea how the fuck to start it
Go
again.
back underground and go.
And then it's finished. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's not just me. It was the concept. We all sat there and went, we need to do this. And hopefully there are others doing it as well. But the more people do it, it keeps the clubs going, keeps people employed, gives people an opportunity. I'm going back, and it's not just me, but I'm going back to what I loved it. This is why I got into it. Little nightclubs and blah, blah. I love an intimate little club. I don't think it can be beaten. Do you know what I mean? When I done Glastonbury that time, we come off stage, it was 80,000. I had to go straight to Fabric. I was miserable at the time because I'm like, mate, people are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, they're like, Fabric's packed. I'm like, mate, I've just performed for 80,000. This is a proper come down. Do you know what I mean? But now, as I've got older, I'm like, I'll give me Fabric all day long. I love them little.
When I walked into this Bournemouth venue on Saturday night, and I was like, I sweat. I can just sweat walking up the stairs, walking along the road, and all that. And I got on the mic and I just said, this is just like the old. This is like an old school acid house rave party. Yeah. And I said, I want to be fucking soaking with sweat by the end of my set within one record. I love that. I love them.
What's what got you into it?
Yeah. Before we end, acting and your roles in TV work.
Extra background work.
Oh, you
people say acting. It's like there's not much acting.
No, there is. No, don't play it down like you're playing down performing to 80,000 people. They're not really there for me. Tell me about some of the things you've been in.
EastEnders, loads. What else we've done? Whitstable Pearl, Mr. Big Stuff, Red 2. Done a few films. Baby Reindeer, I was in that. Done all right in that. Actually, they cut a fantastic scene I had in that. I had the bollocks scene in that. And they cut it. I couldn't believe it.
This says Bruce Willis, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, Red 2 that was. Yeah, and again, I had a really good bit in that as well. There's a scene in it, in a plane with Bob Hoskins, and he basically takes some sort of tablet, which means he can't be infected, but he gasses the whole plane, and we're all like US soldiers. He's a spy or something. So anyway, there's a scene in it. What they done was, as he gasses the plane, he's got the antidote, so he doesn't get it, and the rest of us all start foaming at the mouth, and it goes into your nervous system. What they done was they gave us it was like a tree ball mint, Coca-Cola, and like baking soda. Right. And by the time you've had a sip, it foams in your mouth and automatically just goes and spits out. So it looks real, like you've just yacked up everywhere, sort of thing. And I was the last soldier alive, and it's happening to me, and the camera's panning in on me and that, and he walks up with a gun and goes, "Have a nice day," and shoots me straight in the head.
You could come out on stage like that, couldn't it? When you're
foaming at the mouth,
frothing at the mouth. God, come on,
they cut the scene. I was fuming. I was like, no, like camera right on me, and he walks up and goes, "Have a nice day," and just shot me in the face. And I was like, they come out, and I was like, you bastards. Yeah. There's been some good ones. Always in EastEnders.
People who have been on. I feel like I know someone famous then. Like when I see someone I know on telly, I get a screenshot. Well, it's you.
I get that a lot. Yeah. Benny L, Shotter, they're all like, just seen you in EastEnders. Oh, Mr. What was it? Benny calls me now Mr. Big Stuff, because we had quite a good role in Mr. Big Stuff, the Danny Dyer thing recently. Yeah. It's interesting. It helps the days go by.
Drum and bass is in your blood forever, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do. I've got no backup plan. I should have. I've got no backup plan.
Well, you have got a backup plan. You've got your night, and you're bringing new people through, and that your backup plan. Your backup plan is always music.
Yeah. I don't know what I do without music. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think, unbeknownst to me, it is my high. And once the ride stops, I think that's when I'll sit down and reflect and be like, shit.
Well, we can't stop.
What do I do now? But like, yeah, I've had a good ride. If it finished tomorrow, mate,
Be happy.
oh,
Mate, it's fascinated me. Like the residency thing.
yeah, bring back residencies.
Bring back warm up sets.
Yeah,
Bring back warm up sets.
Yeah.
Like, but no, the names and the crowds and the trust that so many artists and promoters have put in you to be their voice.
yeah.
Their front man, their person in the driving seat. I think it's incredible, and congratulations on
Cheers, mate.
such. I think it's an incredibly unique.
I'm not the only one, but it's the ultimate ride. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, raver, pirate, blah blah blah. Just again, right place, right time. Because kids won't. No one will ever be able to do that now because we don't have pirate and we don't have. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it was. I suppose it's the rags to riches in the rave format. But yeah, it's been a good ride, man.
Amazing. Thank you for coming in. And
nice one for having me, bruv.
congratulations. Brilliant on a unique career, mate.
Thank you, bruv.
Brilliant.
Yours ain't
Thank
bad.
you. Not too bad. Not too bad.